Chapter 1154. Hang in there and don't give up. We'll be able to destroy this Death Tree shadow soon and get the Death Mandara. After controlling their powerful souls and attacking fiercely for 5 minutes, the 8 of them had expended a lot of energy. However, they didn't give up in order to get the Death Mandara. They gritted their teeth and persisted bitterly. They were determined to get the Death Mandara. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Under their persevering attacks, the Death Tree shadow was finally destroyed by the combined efforts of the 8 of them. However, in the next moment, the Death Datura that was shrouded in blood-red light suddenly shook. The death thorns that grew on the leaves shot out like a rain of swords, attacking the 8 people at close range. Chi. The 8 of them couldn't dodge in time, and were pierced by the sharp death thorns. Their souls were directly pierced, and they wailed in pain as they fell in all directions. They almost lost the ability to continue fighting. Good opportunity! Taking advantage of the moment when the Death Tree shadow was destroyed and the Death Mandara shot out the death thorns, Yi Chunfeng flew out of the bushes. The soul power in his body quickly gathered, forming a huge soul hand. With the pressure of a mountain, it pressed down on the Death Mandara. Suddenly attacked, the Death Mandara immediately shook and released the power of death to resist the attack of the soul hand. However, at this moment it was at its weakest. The power of death it released couldn't resist Yi Chunfeng's soul hand at all. Sword of Death cut. With a thought from Yi Chunfeng, the 36 soul swords broke out of his body and pierced into the ground around the Death Mandara flower. They revolved and cut through the fertile ground, wanting to uproot the Death Mandara flower. Chi. Seeing that it was about to be uprooted by Yi Chunfeng, the Death Mandara let out an ear-piercing scream. It shook its body with all its might and released a large amount of light of death, forming a whirlpool that engulfed the heavens and the earth. However, after losing the Death Tree shadow and shooting out the death thorns, the weakened Death Mandara couldn't resist Yi Chunfeng's 3-star Dao Saint soul. In the end, the whirlpool of death was dispersed by Yi Chunfeng. It was also uprooted by Yi Chunfeng. After leaving the nourishing soil, the Death Datura became even weaker. Yi Chunfeng controlled its soul power, completely sealing it and storing it into his soul. I owe you a favor. You can let me do one thing for you free of charge, Yi Chunfeng said in a low voice as he floated to the heavily injured gray-robed old man and the others who were riddled with holes from the thorn of death. Although the path of cultivation did not require pity, Yi Chunfeng was not willing to owe others a favor, and he did not want to provoke too many enemies for Skyview Pavilion, so he wanted to repay this favor. Your soul has reached the Nirvana heavenly realm. Sensing the powerful pressure emanating from Yi Chunfeng's soul, the gray-robed elder, who was the strongest among them and had reached the level of Nirvana's soul, revealed a shocked expression. He was shocked that Yi Chunfeng actually had such a terrifying soul at his age. It could be considered as such. The Nirvana heavenly realm was equivalent to a 3-star Dao Saint. However, Yi Chunfeng had just broken through to the Nirvana heavenly realm and could not be compared to the souls of those old monsters who had lived for tens of thousands of years. Since Your Excellency has spoken, we will be bold enough to ask Your Excellency for a favor. Although Yi Chunfeng had schemed against the gray-robed elder, Yi Chunfeng's soul was too powerful, so they did not dare to say anything. They could only take a step back and ask Yi Chunfeng for help. All right, what is it? Yi Chunfeng nodded and agreed without hesitation. We found a cave in the ancient Medicine Mountain, and the restrictions in the cave are very strong. The 8 of us are unable to break through the restrictions with our strength. We wonder if Your Excellency can help us break through the restrictions. The gray-robed elder and the others communicated telepathically. Sure. Yi Chunfeng nodded and agreed without hesitation. However, Your Excellency has already snatched away our Death Mandara. Can you give the treasures in the cave to us? The gray-robed elder looked straight at Yi Chunfeng as he spoke. All right, I promise you. However, if you are unable to obtain the treasures in the cave, then don't blame me for snatching from you. Yi Chunfeng nodded and agreed immediately. Then it's a deal. If our strength is not enough, then we will give you the treasures in the cave. The 8 of them communicated telepathically and nodded in agreement. About 2 hours later, the 8 of them recovered their souls that had been pierced through by the death thorns. They brought Yi Chunfeng and flew towards the hidden cave they had discovered. Very soon, they flew through the vast ancient forest and into a hidden valley. In the depths of the valley, Yi Chunfeng saw a cave that was very difficult to detect with the naked eye due to the large amount of shrubs. What a powerful restriction! Through the lush shrubs, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit could sense that the restrictions in the cave were extremely powerful. He guessed that the treasures in the cave should not be any less valuable than the Death Mandara. However, since he had already agreed to the gray-robed elder and the others, Yi Chunfeng did not reveal any greed. He concentrated his soul spirit and penetrated the thick shrubs. He continuously attacked the restrictions in the cave and forcibly broke through them. Buzz, buzz. Under Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul spirit attacks, the restrictions in the cave started to tremble violently. Ripples appeared in the space around it. However, the restrictions in the cave were extremely powerful. Even with Yi Chunfeng's 3-star Dao Saint soul spirit, he was unable to break through them in a short time. We'll help you. In order to obtain the treasures in the cave, the gray-robed elder and the others all released their powerful soul spirit. They transformed into all kinds of Dao soldiers and attacked ferociously. In the end, Yi Chunfeng and the others continued to attack for close to 2 hours before they finally broke through the restrictions in the cave. Alright, as per our agreement, you guys can go in and collect the treasures first, Yi Chunfeng said slowly. Thank you. Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had fulfilled his promise, the gray-robed elder and the others finally felt relieved. After thanking him, they all entered the cave that was filled with thick fire qi and concealed unknown dangers. Not long after the gray-robed elder and the others entered the cave, a terrifying heat suddenly surged out of the cave. The heat was like rolling waves, gushing out of the cave and instantly melting the bushes growing around the cave entrance. After half an hour, the gray-robed elder escaped from the cave in a sorry state. The remaining 7 souls had already died in the cave. What exactly is inside? Seeing that the gray-robed elder's soul was filled with cracks and on the verge of death, Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly and asked softly. Vermilion, vermilion bird. There's a Saint Beast vermilion bird inside. Saint Beast vermilion bird. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows and revealed an extremely shocked expression. He did not expect that there would actually be a Saint Beast in the mountain of ancient herbs. What exactly is in this cave that is worthy of the protection of a Saint Beast? Thinking of this, Yi Chunfeng felt that the thing in the cave was not to be underestimated. He took the risk and entered the cave that was filled with rolling heat waves. When he tore through the layers of heat waves and carefully entered the cave, he realized that at the end of the cave was a basin that was burning with raging flames. In the center of the basin, there was a blooming lotus that was the size of a water tank. It was red, orange, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and purple. Within the 7-colored lotus, there were 7 lotus seeds that were filled with 9 stars. A vermilion bird with a wingspan of more than 30 meters was circling above the 7-colored lotus. Its entire body was burning with red flames and dragging a dazzling flaming tail behind it. It was like the king of all birds. It screeched at Yi Chunfeng, warning Yi Chunfeng not to intrude into its territory. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1155. What kind of lotus was that? Why was it protected by a Saint Beast? Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Looking at the 7-colored lotus protected by the Saint Beast vermilion bird, Yi Chunfeng felt that this lotus was no small matter. It was probably the most precious spiritual item in the entire ancient Medicine Mountain. However, this seven-colored lotus was protected by the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. With Yi Qinfeng's current soul state, he was definitely not a match for the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. Just the flames burning within the Vermilion Bird's body were enough to melt his soul, not to mention the Vermilion Bird's own strength. Cry just as Yi Qinfeng was deep in thought and thinking of a way to pluck the seven-colored lotus, the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird saw that Yi Qinfeng was not willing to leave. It let out a piercing cry and flapped its flaming wings violently, creating a terrifying flaming tornado that swept towards Yi Qinfeng. Break! Yi Qinfeng's soul body suddenly condensed, and the strength of a three-star Tao Saint suddenly erupted. It turned into a soul sword that could split the heavens and earth. It slashed down, and the vast sword might was unstoppable. It directly slashed the flaming tornado that was sweeping towards him into two. Cry the flaming tornado was easily destroyed by Yi Qinfeng, and this completely angered the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. Its eyes turned fiery red, and a fiery red flame shot out. It had a scorching temperature, and it burned the space around it. It continuously distorted the space around it as it attacked Yi Qinfeng. Saint Fire. The flame that the Vermilion Bird breathed out was at the Saint Fire level. Fire and lightning were the nemesis of souls. Although Yi Qinfeng's soul had reached the level of a three-star Tao Saint, he did not dare to let the Saint Fire that the Vermilion Bird breathed out touch his soul body. He quickly retreated into the cave. Sigh, looks like I have to find Yu Yan as soon as possible and work together with her. Only then will we be able to pluck the seven-colored lotus under the protection of the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird. After seeing how terrifying the Saint Beast Vermilion Bird was, Yi Qinfeng gave up on the idea of plucking the seven-colored lotus by force alone. His body flashed, and he quickly left the extremely hot cave and returned outside. The seven-colored lotus inside is not something that we can pluck. Seeing Yi Qinfeng return, the disheartened gray-robed elder sighed softly. Clearly, the destruction of the souls of his seven companions was a huge blow to him, causing him to give up on the idea of seizing the treasure. Well, with the protection of the sacred beast, we can't take the seven-colored lotus with our current soul state. Yi Qinfeng nodded and said, "After we get out of here, I will make up for your loss. You are too polite. You can't blame others for being inferior." The gray-robed old man sighed and left. After the gray-robed old man left, Yi Qinfeng didn't stay for long. What he needed to do now was to use the remaining time to find the remaining 4 herbs, then find Jiao Yuyan and plan a method to pluck the rainbow lotus with her. Although Yi Qinfeng had Jiao Yuyan's help, the danger of snatching food from the jaws of a tiger under the protection of the holy beast Vermilion Bird was still very high. However, he still decided to take the risk. After all, the most precious spiritual herb in the ancient Medicine Mountain was worth the risk. Yi Qinfeng released his soul completely and searched for the 4 herbs in the ancient Medicine Mountain while looking for Jiao Yuyan. At this time, Jiao Yuyan was blocked by the Saint Son of Fire Spirit and the other 3 people in a secluded valley. "Finally found you." The Saint Son of Fire Spirit looked at the tall, beautiful, and otherworldly Jiao Yuyan with evil intentions and walked over slowly. "What do you want?" Jiao Yuyan glared at the Saint Son of Fire Spirit and the other 3 people who surrounded her with evil intentions and asked coldly, "What do you think we want?" The Saint Son of Fire Spirit smiled and looked at Jiao Yuyan with burning eyes. He said, "A beautiful girl like you, I really can't bear to hurt you. How about this, if you promise to stay with me for 2 days, I will let you go." "You are shameless." Jiao Yuyan's expression changed slightly. She glared at the Saint Son of Fire Spirit who was beside himself with joy and shouted, "Oh, you are angry. But I find that you are even more attractive when you are angry. Even I am tempted." The Saint Son of Fire Spirit showed a playful smile and said unscrupulously, "Saint Son, don't you want to take revenge on that guy? Do you think he will go crazy if we play with his woman?" The saint son of fire spirit's companion, a short, long-haired level 8 alchemist, looked at the fairy-like Jiao Yuyan lecherously and said with a smirk, "Well, your suggestion is good. I have long wanted to try the feeling of soul intercourse and see if it is so erotic." The saint's son of fire spirit laughed. His arrogant words made it seem as if Jiao Yuyan was already a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered by him. "I am warning you, if you come close to me again, don't blame me for being rude to you." Jiao Yuyan's face turned red and her eyes were burning with anger. She warned him angrily. "How can you be rude to me if you are rude to me? Even that old guy was killed by me. Do you think you can escape from me?" The saint's son of fire spirit said arrogantly. The more he looked at Jiao Yuyan, the more tempted he was. He wanted to tear off the clothes made by her soul and have deep soul intercourse with her. You destroyed my master's soul." Jiao Yuyan's expression changed and she said angrily, "That's right, so I advise you to be honest. Otherwise, I am afraid I will make you suffer." The saint's son of fire spirit said with a lewd smile. In his mind, he could already imagine Yi Chunfeng's expression when he found out that Jiao Yuyan had been humiliated by him. "You all deserve to die." Jiao Yuyan was completely enraged. A soul power that made the saint's son of fire spirit and the other three feel terrified exploded in her soul body. How is this possible? How can her soul be so terrifying? Feeling the soul power that Jiao Yuyan released without holding back, the saint's son of fire spirit and the other three's smiles froze. They opened their eyes wide and looked as if they had seen a ghost. Boom! Jiao Yuyan slapped out with her palm, and a terrifying soul power gushed out of her body like a tsunami. It roared and attacked the saint's son of fire spirit and the other three. Jiao Yuyan's soul had reached the level of a 3-star Tao saint, and with her heavenly soul body, her soul was even stronger than Yi Chunfeng's. In the ancient medicine mountain where only souls could enter, she was the real invincible existence. The saint's son of fire spirit and the others offended her was the same as offending the death god. Dodge. Feeling the power of Jiao Yuyan's palm, the saint's son of fire spirit and the others' expressions changed greatly. They all dodged to the side, and their arrogant expressions were completely replaced by fear. "Can you escape?" the furious Jiao Yuyan shouted. With a flash, she appeared beside an 8th-rank alchemist. Without waiting for him to dodge, she slapped out with her palm and ruthlessly hit his body, directly shattering his soul body and causing it to dissipate on the spot. Following that, Jiao Yuyan continued to attack. Resplendent soul power illuminated the void and swept out in all directions. The boundless soul power made all the living beings in the world tremble, causing the entire mountain valley to tremble. The other two companions of the saint's son of fire spirit let out miserable cries. They were hit by Jiao Yuyan's destructive soul power, and their souls were shattered on the spot. Although the saint's son of fire spirit borrowed the power of the two heavenly flames to resist Jiao Yuyan's destructive soul power, his soul body was still injured. Soul escape left with no choice, the saint's son of fire spirit burned his soul without hesitation. Like a stray dog, he quickly escaped from the mountain valley. Where could he escape to? Jiao Yuyan was not prepared to let him go. She chased after him with all her might. However, the saint's son of fire spirit's soul had reached the level of nirvana, and he controlled two heavenly flames. In the end, he used the complicated terrain of the ancient medicine mountain to gradually increase the distance between him and Jiao Yuyan, disappearing into the boundless mountain range. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1156. What's going on over there? Yi Chunfeng, who was flying fast in the ancient medicine mountain, suddenly saw a destructive soul power in the distance that destroyed a large area of ancient trees. He raised his eyebrows and immediately sped up to meet Zhao Yuyan, who was flying fast towards him with monstrous soul power. Yuyan, what's wrong? Yi Chunfeng immediately walked up and asked with concern when he felt the strong murderous intent from Zhao Yuyan's body. Feng Chen, I finally found you. Seeing Yi Chunfeng flying over, Zhao Yuyan's murderous intent disappeared. She said angrily, "That fire spirit saint's son is too evil. He destroyed my teacher's soul and tried to do something to me." What? The elder's soul was destroyed by the fire spirit saint's son? After hearing Zhao Yuyan's story, Yi Chunfeng's face instantly darkened. He had a strong murderous intent towards the fire spirit saint's son. I wanted to avenge my teacher, but when I destroyed their souls, the fire spirit saint's son resisted my attack with his powerful soul and 2 sky fires. In the end, he burned his soul and escaped. Zhao Yuyan said softly, "Feng Chen, have you found all the herbs you need? If you do, let's go after the fire spirit saint's son and avenge our teacher. I still have 2 more herbs to find. Because of the soul recovery marrow, the death datura, and the rainbow lotus, Yi Chunfeng wasted a lot of time, so he didn't have the 11 herbs he needed. Feng Chen, I just killed the fire spirit saint's son's 3 companions and scattered a lot of herbs. Why don't we go over and see if there's anything you need?" Knowing that Yi Chunfeng didn't have all the herbs, Zhao Yuyan had to give up the idea of killing the fire spirit saint's son. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and flew to the entrance of the valley with Zhao Yuyan. They found a lot of herbs scattered on the ground, including the 2 herbs that Yi Chunfeng needed. "Yuyan, there's no hurry to avenge the elder. Let me take you to a place." Trying to find the flame spirit saint's son in the boundless ancient medicine mountain was like looking for a needle in a haystack. After gathering the 11 herbs he needed, Yi Chunfeng gave up on the thought of killing him and prepared to pick the 7-colored lotus. "Feng Chen, where are you taking me?" Zhao Yuyan asked softly. "A place that could possibly nurture the most precious spirit medicine in the entire ancient medicine mountain," Yi Chunfeng said. The ancient medicine mountain's most precious spirit medicine, Zhao Yuyan, lightly sucked in a breath. Her delicate face revealed a deep shock as she said, "What kind of spirit medicine is that?" It was a 7-colored lotus flower that grew in a basin of flames. That lotus flower was condensed with 9 rainbow colors, the lotus seed flickered with 9 stars. Yi Chunfeng described the shape of the 7-colored lotus flower and said, "But that 7-colored lotus flower is guarded by the holy beast vermilion bird, it is not easy to pluck it. Could it be the 7-colored 9-star lotus?" The well-read Zhao Yuyan's eyes widened as a legendary saint artifact appeared in her mind. The shape of that saint artifact was almost identical to the 7-colored lotus described by Yi Chunfeng. 7-colored 9-star lotus. Yuyan, do you know the origin of that lotus flower? Looking at Zhao Yuyan's shocked expression, Yi Chunfeng asked. "I once saw in an ancient book a sacred object called the lotus flower, and that lotus flower was the 7-colored 9-star lotus. According to your description just now, the 7-colored 9-star lotus and the 7-colored 9-star lotus have almost the same shape. They are both born from the nurturing of flames and are 7-colored. Zhao Yuyan nodded and said, "Saint Artifact." Yi Chunfeng knew that the things that could be called Saint Artifact were all related to the heaven domain, and the spiritual objects of the central world could not reach the level of Saint Artifact. The 7-colored 9-star lotus was a spiritual Saint Artifact, but its most precious part was not the flower itself, but the 9 lotus seeds that could restrain all elements. The 9-star lotus seeds were one of the favorite Saint Artifacts of the Nirvana realm. With the 9-star lotus seeds, the success rate of cultivating to the Nirvana realm was almost 100%. The Nirvana Heavenly Realm experts could also borrow the 9-star lotus seeds to weaken the power of Lihan Heaven and cultivate to the extreme of the Nirvana realm, extending their lifespan. To restrain all elements, there was actually such a Saint Artifact in this world. Yi Chunfeng raised his eyebrows, revealing a look of deep shock. This kind of saint artifact was no doubt a heaven-defying existence, and if Yi Chunfeng could obtain it, it would definitely be an important trump card for him to tear open the gate to the heaven domain. Yi Chunfeng could imagine, if the Nirvana realm old monsters knew that the 7-colored 9-star lotus and the 9-star lotus seeds were in the ancient medicine mountain, what kind of uproar would it cause? These 9-star lotus seeds must be obtained. Yi Chunfeng secretly made up his mind constantly thinking of ways to snatch food from the mouth of the saint beast vermilion bird. When Yi Chunfeng brought Jiao Yuyan and flew towards the hidden cave at an extremely fast speed, 3 fifth-grade alchemists, who were in a sorry state and whose soul bodies were filled with cracks, were flying towards them at an extremely fast speed. Behind them, 2 sixth-grade alchemists, who were filled with killing intent, were chasing after them. If you can stop the 3 of them, my sacred Fire Valley will definitely reward you handsomely. Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan didn't want to meddle in other people's business, but just as they were about to go around, a 6th-grade alchemist wearing a white alchemist robe with a trace of arrogance on his face shouted towards Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan. Sacred Fire Valley, hearing the shout from afar, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan both stopped, changed direction, and flew towards the alchemist at an extremely fast speed. Seeing Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan flying over, and feeling the terrifying soul power released by them, the 3 alchemists who were fleeing in a sorry state were so scared that their faces turned pale, revealing despair and helplessness. But the 6th-grade alchemist of the Sacred Fire Palace, who was chasing after them, revealed a complacent smile, and secretly cursed, "Daring to snatch my Sacred Fire Valley's things, this is the result." Just as the 3 alchemists were at a loss, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan brushed past them with extremely fast speed, and with a terrifying killing intent, they approached the 2 Sacred Fire Valley's 6th-grade alchemists. What do you want to do? If you dare to harm us, my Sacred Fire Valley will definitely not let you off. Catching the killing intent in Yi Chunfeng's eyes, and feeling the monstrous soul power released by them locking onto them, the 2 6th-grade alchemists' hearts trembled, and they brought out the Sacred Fire Valley to pressure Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan. The people they wanted to kill were the Sacred Fire Valley's people. While speaking, Yi Chunfeng's soul power erupted, condensing into 16 soul swords that were more than 10 zhang long. Carrying an unparalleled aura, the soul swords slashed towards the 2 alchemists. No. Never in their wildest dreams would the 2 alchemists have thought that their inadvertent shout would actually attract 2 death gods. They hurriedly controlled 2 balls of top-grade spirit fire to defend themselves, waiting for an opportunity to escape. Chi 16 soul swords slashed down at the same time. This attack was like the Milky Way flowing backwards, cutting through everything. This attack seemed to cross the sky, and all living things would submit to it. The soul swords easily crushed the spirit fire released by the 2 alchemists, and directly crushed their souls, causing them to dissipate in midair. After killing the 2 experts of the valley, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan didn't stop. Under the dumbfounded gazes of the 3 fifth-grade alchemists, they turned into 2 afterimages in midair, and quickly flew away. Finally, when there were still more than 2 hours left before the 2-day deadline, the 2 flew to the outside of the mysterious valley that had lost its seal and was emitting billowing hot steam. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Collect button at the bottom to record this reading record, and you will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends. QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1157. Yu Yen, although our souls are powerful, our souls cannot be compared to our physical bodies. We cannot threaten the saint beast vermilion bird at all. Furthermore, the saint flame that the vermilion bird breathes out is our nemesis. The possibility of us defeating the vermilion bird and plucking the rainbow 9-star lotus is almost zero. Therefore, if we want to pluck the rainbow 9-star lotus or the 9-star lotus seed, there is only one chance. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment and said, "What chance?" Jiao Yuyan asked. "We'll wait until the last moment before the ancient medicine mountain closes, and make our move. That way, even if we lose the bet, with the realm of our souls, we should be able to last until the ancient medicine mountain closes. That way, you and I will be teleported out, and we won't be killed by the holy beast vermilion bird and lose our chance to advance." Yi Chunfeng told Jiao Yuyan his plan. "This is a good idea." "Good, then we will gamble at the last moment." Jiao Yuyan nodded and discussed with Yi Chunfeng the plan to obtain the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus at the last moment. Time slowly passed, and after confirming the plan to obtain the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan calculated the time and waited patiently. Finally, when there was still half an incense stick of time before the ancient medicine mountain closed, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan entered the cave filled with boiling hot energy. Restraining their soul power, they flew towards the end of the cave at an extremely fast speed. That's right, the lotus was exactly the same as the one in the ancient book, so it should be the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus. Looking at the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus growing in the flame basin through the surging waves of flames, Jiao Yuyan's guess was confirmed. This was the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus that was enough to make Nirvana realm experts fight to the death. The vermilion bird should be hiding in the flame basin under the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus. Later, we will act according to the plan. You will attract the sacred beast vermilion bird, and I will obtain the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus. Yi Chunfeng looked at the raging flames and extremely hot flame basin and communicated telepathically. "Good, Feng Chen, be careful." Jiao Yuyan nodded and warned, "If you can't do it, give up immediately. Don't let your soul be extinguished, or you will lose the qualification for the preliminary round." "Don't worry, I'll be careful." Yi Chunfeng nodded. As the closing time of the ancient medicine mountain drew closer and closer, the atmosphere grew more and more tense. When there were only 20 breaths left before the ancient medicine mountain closed, Jiao Yuyan suddenly moved. Like an arrow, she shot into the air with an ear-piercing sound, approaching the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus at an extremely fast speed. Chirp chirp. Sensing Jiao Yuyan's approach, a series of furious cries resounded within the scorching flame basin. The holy beast vermilion bird, whose entire body was burning with raging flames, fanned out a flaming hurricane as it rapidly flew out. Like a red cloud streaking across the void, it attacked Jiao Yuyan. Facing the holy beast vermilion bird's attack, Jiao Yuyan followed her plan and decisively dodged to the side, trying her best to lure the vermilion bird away. However, the holy beast vermilion bird was too frightening. The flaming tornadoes it stirred up incessantly burned Jiao Yuyan's soul, causing her immense pain. After its all-out attack was dodged by Jiao Yuyan, the holy beast vermilion bird immediately opened its sharp beak and spat out scorching holy flames towards Jiao Yuyan. It wanted to burn Jiao Yuyan's soul, who had invaded its territory, alive. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng, who had been waiting for an opportunity, made his move. He didn't hesitate to burn his soul, raising his speed to the limit as he flew towards the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus. He wanted to forcefully obtain this holy object. Screech! When the holy beast vermilion bird, which was chasing after Jiao Yuyan, noticed Yi Chunfeng's sudden appearance and rapidly approaching the Rainbow 9-Star Lotus, it immediately let out a furious screech. It gave up on killing Jiao Yuyan and turned its huge body around to attack Yi Chunfeng. Soul Millstone. When the holy beast vermilion bird turned its huge body around, Jiao Yuyan unleashed her soul power to the limit, forming a huge soul millstone that ruthlessly smashed onto the vermilion bird's huge body. Although the soul attack couldn't be compared to the soul attack of the main body, Jiao Yuyan's soul had reached the level of a 3-star Dao Saint. She also had the heavenly soul body, which was rarely seen in 10,000 years, so her soul attack was just as terrifying. After being suppressed by her strongest attack, the vermilion bird's huge body trembled. Terrifying soul power passed through the scorching flames, continuously damaging the vermilion bird's body and slowing its flying speed. In the next moment, Jiao Yuyan burned her soul. Numerous flaming chains broke out of her body, like dancing spirit snakes, and locked onto the vermilion bird. Under Jiao Yuyan's relentless attacks, the vermilion bird's speed was greatly affected. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Yi Chunfeng endured the scorching flames rising from the basin and approached the rainbow nine-star lotus. Break! With a thought, Yi Chunfeng's burning soul power turned into a soul sword that was more than 30 meters long. Its terrifying sharpness was unparalleled, and it slashed towards the rainbow nine-star lotus with an unstoppable force. It was burning with flames, trying to cut through the root. Bang! The power of this attack was astonishing, and it was enough to destroy a top-grade heaven artifact. However, when it slashed at the roots of the rainbow nine-star lotus, it felt as if it was slashing at black iron. It didn't even leave a mark. Shriek! When the vermilion bird saw Yi Chunfeng attacking the rainbow nine-star lotus that it had guarded for countless years, it was instantly enraged. The flames burning in its body instantly rose, burning away the soul millstone. Kathy holy beast vermilion bird fiercely flapped its huge wings, breaking free from the soul chains that bound its body. With one wing, it sent Jiao Yuyan flying. If Jiao Yuyan's soul wasn't strong enough, this attack would have been enough to scatter her soul. After breaking free from the chains, the holy beast vermilion bird attacked Yi Chunfeng with boundless killing intent. It was determined to kill Yi Chunfeng, who had touched the rainbow nine-star lotus. In a flash, Yi Chunfeng immediately changed his mind. He gave up on the idea of plucking the entire rainbow nine-star lotus and controlled his soul to form a huge whirlpool. He released a powerful suction force, sucking in the 9 rainbow nine-star lotus seeds from the rainbow nine-star lotus. At this time, there were only 4 breaths left before the mountain of ancient herbs closed. Although 4 breaths passed in the blink of an eye, it was too long for Yi Chunfeng. The enraged holy beast vermilion bird had already closed in on him. The holy beast vermilion bird spat out holy flames. Yi Chunfeng gritted his teeth and didn't dodge. Before the holy flames swallowed him, he finally sucked out a 9-star lotus seed from the rainbow 9-star lotus. Then, he quickly hid behind the water tank-sized rainbow 9-star lotus, avoiding the holy flames that were enough to incinerate him. As the holy flames swept past, Yi Chunfeng ignored his own safety and circled to the other side of the rainbow 9-star lotus. He continued to release his powerful soul power to absorb the 9-star lotus seed. Die! The holy beast vermilion bird spoke in human language. Its flaming wings flapped violently, forming a flaming tornado that engulfed both the rainbow 9-star lotus and Yi Chunfeng. It wanted to crush Yi Chunfeng into pieces. Wind and Dust Jiao Yuyan, whose body was full of cracks and injuries, saw the scene of Yi Chunfeng being swallowed by the fiery whirlpool. She was worried about Yi Chunfeng's safety. However, she was too weak and couldn't stop the holy beast vermilion bird's furious attack. She could only pray in her heart. 3 breaths, 2 breaths, 1 breath, buzz buzz buzz. A powerful teleportation force appeared in the space of the mountain of ancient herbs, teleporting all the alchemists who were scattered in every corner of the mountain of ancient herbs away. The entire mountain of ancient herbs returned to normal. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1158. Feng Chen. When her soul returned to her body, Jiao Yuyan immediately looked at Yi Chunfeng. She wanted to know if he had succeeded at the last moment. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. If he had failed at the last moment, Yi Chunfeng would have lost the qualification to enter the preliminary round. Suddenly, Yi Chunfeng opened his tightly shut eyes and met Jiao Yuyan's gaze. Then, Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, "Success? I managed to pluck 4 9-star lotus seeds at the last moment." 4. Jiao Yuyan raised her eyebrows. Her delicate face was filled with disbelief. She could not imagine how Yi Chunfeng managed to pluck 4 9-star lotus seeds, which were unimaginably valuable, while being engulfed by the flame vortex released by the holy beast vermilion bird. Come, Yuyan. We'll take 2 of the 4 9-star lotus seeds each. Jiao Yuyan had contributed greatly to plucking 4 9-star lotus seeds. Yi Chunfeng generously took out 2 9-star lotus seeds and hid them in his palm. He gave them to Jiao Yuyan. No. Feng Chen, I only want 1 9-star lotus seed. You can keep the rest. Jiao Yuyan only wanted 1 9-star lotus seed and returned the other to Yi Chunfeng. As all the alchemists in the ancient medicine mountain came out, Mu Qinghua, whose soul was injured, slowly walked over. Elder, we all know what happened to you. Yu Yen has already destroyed the souls of the Saint of Fire Spirit's 3 followers in the ancient medicine mountain. As for the Saint of Fire Spirit, I guarantee that he will regret what he has done. Yi Chunfeng looked at Mu Qinghua, who was filled with regret, and promised softly. Feng Chen Yu Yen, I'm not in a hurry to take revenge. Do your best in the competition. The honor of the Skyview Pavilion is in your hands. Mu Qinghua took a deep breath and solemnly instructed. Don't worry, Pavilion Elder. Yu Yen and I will definitely raise the star grade of the Skyview Pavilion to above the 8th grade. Yi Chunfeng nodded and promised in front of everyone. Normally, a Heaven Pavilion would need 3 8-star alchemists to be promoted to an 8th grade Heaven Pavilion. However, if Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan both became 9th grade alchemists, then a Heaven Pavilion with 2 9th grade alchemists could be promoted to an 8th grade Heaven Pavilion. Alright, the alchemist who failed in the selection can leave the Fire Divine Palace and go to the viewing pavilion to watch the battle. The alchemist who has gathered all the medicinal herbs still needs to refine the medicinal herbs you have gathered into the pills on the prescription before you can pass. The Sky Hall's great guardian Xian Zhangxin, who was presiding over the preliminary selection, appeared in the sky above the Fire Divine Palace. He looked at the tens of thousands of alchemists, who were both happy and sad as he spoke in a deep voice. I'm leaving. Good luck. Mu Qinghua patted Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan's shoulders. He dragged his lonely figure and followed the alchemist who failed in the selection and left the Fire Divine Palace. Soon, the Fire Divine Palace's white jade square, which was packed with people just a moment ago, was left with only 3,000 alchemists. 2/3 of the alchemists were eliminated. Flame Spirit Saint Sun, I will definitely make you pay a painful price for your actions. Yi Chunfeng swore in his heart as he looked at the Flame Spirit Saint Sun, whose face was as dark as water. Alright, you only have 2 hours to refine pills. If you can't form pills within 2 hours, you will be eliminated, Xian Zhangxin announced loudly. Just as Xian Zhangxin finished speaking, balls of scorching flames rose in the white jade square. The entire white jade square was like a huge brazier. It was very spectacular. Yuyan, let's begin. Yi Chunfeng took a deep breath and cleared his mind as he said softly. Alright. Jiao Yuyan nodded. She did not use the quasi-sage treasure cauldron given to her by the Dao addict. Instead, she summoned the medium-grade Dao treasure cauldron and began to refine the pseudo-Dao pill on the prescription. Yi Chunfeng did not summon his cauldron. Instead, he used his mind to control the death blaze heavenly fire and turned it into a cauldron. He quickly purified the impurities in the 11 main herbs and refined the pseudo-Dao pill, the Jade Dew pill. Although the Jade Dew pill was one of the more difficult pills to refine among the pseudo-Dao pills, it was not difficult for Yi Chunfeng at all. Under the scorching heat of the death blaze heavenly fire, the 11 herbs instantly withered and melted, turning into a large amount of essence. Bang! 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 When Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan were using their mysterious alchemy skills to refine pills smoothly, the white jade square suddenly burst with the sound of pills exploding. Looking at the black medicinal dregs in the cauldron, The alchemists who had failed could not hide their disappointment. The reason they had failed so quickly was that the medicinal herbs they had found in the mountain of ancient medicine had been mixed with fake medicinal herbs, which led to their failure. Time slowly passed. After more than half an hour, a refreshing medicinal fragrance wafted out of the white jade square. Yi Chunfeng, Jiao Yuyan, the flame spirit Saint Sun, and the others successfully refined the impurities and began to condense their pills. During the process of condensing their pills, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan used the same alchemy skills to condense pill patterns in the void as if they had a life of their own. They fused into the rapidly condensing pills, forming pill patterns on the surface of the pills and increasing the quality of the pills. After about half an incense stick's worth of time, 9 pills rose into the air at almost the same time. Yi Chunfeng, Jiao Yuyan, and the flame spirit Saint Sun completed their alchemy at the same time. After the 3 of them, many more alchemists completed their alchemy. Soon an hour passed. Almost 80% of the alchemists completed their alchemy, but nearly 300 alchemists failed and were eliminated. After the completion of the alchemy, a powerful soul power was released from Xian Zhangxin's Sea of Soul, covering the entire white jade square. He was multitasking, quickly checking the quality of everyone's alchemy. If the quality was too low, they would be eliminated. Under Xian Zhangxin's powerful soul power, dozens more alchemists were eliminated because the quality was too low. In the end, out of the 10,000 alchemists, only 2,700 passed the preliminary selection. The rest were all eliminated. Congratulations on passing the first round of selection. Now I will give you your rewards. As he spoke, the yin-yang ring in Xian Zhangxin's hand shone with a fiery light. 1,000 precious fire spirits were like a sea of fire, rising into the air. The rolling heat caused the temperature of the entire white jade square to rise. These 1,000 fire spirits are your rewards, but you can only subdue them with your soul power. Then, you have to find a way to keep your fire spirits within the time it takes to burn a stick of incense. This will test your soul power and control of fire. After the time it takes to burn a stick of incense, you will be eliminated if you don't get a fire spirit. Xian Zhangxin looked at the burning eyes of the alchemists and said solemnly. Wow! As soon as Xian Zhangxin's words fell, the entire white jade square was in an uproar. No one expected that these 1,000 fire spirits were not only a reward but also a test. More than 2,700 alchemists were competing for 1,000 fire spirit. This meant that nearly 2/3 of the alchemists would be eliminated. They had never thought of such a cruel competition. Well, you have 2 hours to rest. After 2 hours, you will begin to subdue the fire spirits. Xian Zhangxin announced loudly after seeing everyone's expressions. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1159. Fire God Realm, the most mysterious mustard seed space above the Fire God Palace. It was also the place where the Sky Palace's magnates cultivated. Interesting, really interesting. I didn't expect that little guy to give us another surprise. Sky Palace Master Xian Hong smiled faintly as he looked at the image projected by a huge light wall above the Fire God Realm. The image projected by the light wall was the scene of Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan working together to forcefully pluck the 9-star lotus seeds under the protection of the sacred beast vermilion bird. Yeah, the sacred beast must be very depressed now that the little guy snatched away 4 9-star lotus seeds at the last moment. Vice Palace Master Xian Qinyun said with a smile. Where did that little guy come from? His soul has reached such a level that even the sacred fire from the vermilion bird couldn't melt his soul instantly. Great Elder Xian Zhongting was very curious about Yi Chunfeng's identity and background. That little guy should have a very powerful master. Otherwise, he wouldn't have rejected the Tao addict's offer to take him as a disciple. However, according to Yen Ryu's confirmation, the blood of our human race flows in that little guy's body. Just this point alone makes him worthy of our nurturing, Xian Hong said slowly. He was the person behind the scenes who asked Yen Ryu to help Yi Chunfeng out. Palace Master, what do you think that little guy will get in the end? Xian Qinyun also admired Yi Chunfeng very much and asked softly. I know too little about him. I don't know to what extent he has cultivated his alchemy skills. However, with his heaven-defying methods and powerful soul, he should have a chance to rush into the top 10 of the alchemy competition. Xian Hong pondered for a moment and said, Top 10? With his age, no matter how heaven-defying he is, it's impossible for him to refine a quasi-sage pill. Great Elder Xian Zhongting said doubtfully when he thought of Yi Chunfeng's age. After all, to rush into the top 10 of the alchemy competition, just refining an ancient path pill was not enough. One had to refine a quasi-sage pill. Refining a quasi-sage pill required not only a powerful soul, but also a profound alchemy inheritance and a powerful flame. It also required a long time of accumulation and thousands of experiments. This was also why there were so few saint alchemists and saint artifact masters in the central continent. When this little guy entered the ninefold flame caverns and the ancient medicine mountain, which one of you would have thought that he would be able to obtain the sacred pill, subdue the sacred flame, and steal the 4 9-stars lotus seeds under the protection of the sacred beast vermilion bird? Xian Hong asked. It seems that the palace master feels that he will create another miracle. Xian Zhongting said with a smile. There is this possibility, let's wait and see. Xian Hongzheng nodded and said. But what Xian Hongzheng and the others did not expect was that Yi Chunfeng's goal was not to enter the top 10 of the alchemy competition, but to enter the top 3 of the alchemy and artifact refining competitions. Alright, 2 hours are up. Get ready. Begin. Following Xian Zhongxin's order, a powerful soul rose into the air and rushed towards the sea of fire like a long river. The 1,000 groups of fire spirits were fighting to subdue them and compete for the qualifications to advance to the next round. At this time, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan looked at each other and released their powerful souls to approach the 2 sacred Fire Valley disciples who were trying their best to subdue the fire spirit. Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan's souls were too powerful. Under their soul attacks, the 2 sacred Fire Valley's disciples, who had just subdued their fire spirits, had their fire spirits forcefully snatched away and their souls were torn apart. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan controlled the 2 groups of fire spirits and turned them into an intimidating dragon and phoenix. Rolling up a boundless sea of fire, they whistled and attacked the dozen sacred Fire Valley disciples. Under the 2's exquisite fire control attacks, the sacred Fire Valley disciples could not resist at all. Their souls in the fire spirits were constantly torn apart by the fire dragon and fire phoenix. Damn it! Seeing the souls of the sacred Fire Valley disciples being incinerated by Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan, the fire spirit saint was furious. He immediately controlled the fire spirit to turn into a ferocious giant fire tiger and pounced forward. Roar! Yi Chunfeng controlled the fire dragon to let out an earth-shattering dragon roar. It twisted its huge body to meet the fire tiger controlled by the fire spirit saint and engaged in an intense battle in the air. Endless flames burst out. While the fire dragon and fire tiger were fighting fiercely in the air, Jiao Yuyan controlled the fire phoenix to incinerate the souls of the sacred Fire Valley disciples like the autumn wind. In an instant, only the fire spirit saint was left in the entire sacred Fire Valley. The rest of the disciples' souls were all extinguished. The fire spirits that they had subdued were also snatched away by the others. With their souls extinguished, the sacred Fire Valley disciples immediately suffered soul backlash. However, in order to enter the preliminary round, they did not give up. They ignored the damage to their souls and continued to release their souls into the air to fight for the fire spirit. Screech! A series of sharp bird cries rang out. Jiao Yuyen controlled the fire phoenix to descend from the sky, rolling up a sea of flames. Once again, the souls of the sacred Fire Valley disciples were incinerated and damaged. Feng Chun, are you really going to fight to the death with my sacred Fire Valley? The pale-faced fire spirit saint did not expect Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen to be so ruthless. He transmitted his voice in anger. What's wrong? You're angry already? Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, The game has just begun. Enjoy it slowly. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng moved his mind. The ferocious fire dragon suddenly spun and formed a powerful fire whirlpool, wanting to crush the fire tiger. Feeling the terror of the fire whirlpool, the fire spirit saint's face changed slightly. He quickly controlled the fire tiger to jump continuously in the air, dodging the fire whirlpool. Let's see where you can escape to. Yi Chunfeng continued to increase his soul power, controlling the fire whirlpool to chase after the fire spirit saint's fire tiger. He was determined to crush its soul. At this time, Jiao Yuyen controlled the fire phoenix to attack with full power. She also formed a fire whirlpool to block the fire spirit saint. Damn, those two are so daring. They dare to go against my sacred Fire Valley again and again. After today's competition, I will not forgive them. In a quiet room in the spectator pavilion, a middle-aged man with a tall and sturdy body and fiery red hair, who looked a little similar to the saint's son of fire spirit, saw through the light wall that almost all of the sacred Fire Valley's disciples were killed and the saint's son of fire spirit was chased by Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen like a stray dog. He was so furious that he couldn't restrain his anger and roared loudly. And this red-haired man was the sacred Fire Valley Master, Nirvana's Strength, Fire Sky Halberd, who had the title of Saint Master. Fire Spirit Duck, aren't you very awesome and strong? Why are you running away like a mad dog? I really wonder if your level 9 Heavenly Master badge was picked up. Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen were chasing after the Fire Spirit Saint controlled by the Fire Spirit Saint. At the same time, they were sneering at him to disturb his mind. Just you wait. The sacred Fire Valley will definitely avenge you. The Fire Spirit Saint gritted his teeth and fought back. He did not dare to be distracted at all. He tried his best to avoid Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen's pursuit. Because Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen were too powerful and the fire whirlpool they formed was too terrifying, no one dared to help the Fire Spirit Saint. They could only watch him run away like a stray dog. In order to avoid Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen's pursuit, the Fire Spirit Saint tried his best. The Fire Spirit Saint seemed to be rolling and crawling at the same time. At this time, the Fire Spirit Saint felt that time was so hard to pass. Just when he could not hold on any longer, 30 minutes finally passed. The Saint's son of Fire Spirit, who was so tired that his soul almost collapsed, escaped the disaster. He guarded the fire spirit that he controlled and entered the preliminary round. However, although he advanced, the scene of him being chased by Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen in the sky made him feel extremely humiliated. In addition, all the disciples of the sacred Fire Valley were killed, except for him. He was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. You too, just you wait. I won't forgive you. The Fire Spirit Saint glared at Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyen with his blood-red eyes. He gritted his teeth and swore. What a coincidence. I also want to say the same thing to you. I will not forgive you. Yi Chunfeng's lips curled up slightly and said tit for tat. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1160. Alright, today's selection is over. Those who have advanced, get ready. The preliminary round will begin tomorrow morning. Xian Zhangxin used his superpower and left a spiritual mark on the 1,000 advanced alchemists as he announced, "Let's go, Yuyan. Let's go back." Yi Chunfeng glanced coldly at the flame spirit Holy Sun and the others, who were furious. He then walked out of the fire shrine. Fouchen, B*TCH, do you really think that the sacred fire valley is easy to bully? Someone will show you how powerful the sacred fire valley is. Looking at Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yuyan's backs, the flame spirit Holy Sun took out his messaging bead. Fengchen, Yen you did well today. Keep up the good work tomorrow and enter the semi-finals. Wang Tian Marquis already knew about Mu Qinghua's experience and was disgusted by the flame spirit Holy Sun's actions. He did not blame the two of them and said with a smile, "Don't worry, mother. Fengchen and I will give you a big surprise in this Heavenly Hall competition." Zhao Yuyan said sweetly as she hugged the Wang Tian Marquis arm. Her beautiful eyes were like crescent moons. After offending the sacred fire valley, you still want to continue participating in the preliminary round? At that moment, a strong baleful aura appeared and locked onto Yi Chunfeng and the others. He spoke arrogantly. Sky-gazing Marquis's expression changed slightly as he looked behind him. He saw Fire Sky Halberd, who was wearing a fiery red robe and releasing a mountainous aura, leading a group of experts from the Sacred Fire Valley, slowly walking over and blocking their path. Sacred Fire Valley Master, do you want to become enemies with the Nine Heavens Holy Nation? Although Fire Sky Halberd was more powerful than the Wang Tian Marquis, the Wang Tian Marquis was still a Marquis of the Nine Heavens Holy Nation. She was not afraid of Fire Sky Halberd because of the Nine Heavens Holy Nation. Moreover, Zhao Yuyan had the Tao Addict as her master. They had a stronger backing. "Jiarao, I will give face to the Nine Heavens Holy Nation and let you off this time. However, you must let me deal with this brat," Fire Sky Halberd said as he looked coldly at Yi Chunfeng, who had snatched the divine elixir away. At this time, the Flame Spirit Saint and the others walked to the side of the mighty Fire Sky Halberd. They looked at Yi Chunfeng mockingly, waiting for him to kneel and beg for mercy. "Sacred Flame Valley Master, Fengchen is an honorary guest of my sky-gazing pavilion. I will not hand him over to you," Sky-gazing Marquis said without backing down. "So you're saying that you're determined to make an enemy out of my Sacred Fire Valley?" Fire Sky Halberd's expression darkened as he glared at Wang Tian Marquis. "I have no intention of becoming enemies with the Sacred Fire Valley. As for why Fengchen wants to take revenge on the Sacred Fire Valley, I think the Flame Spirit Saint's son knows best," Wang Tian Marquis said indifferently. "Good spirit. Jiarao, do you really think that with the Nine Heavens Divine Kingdom backing you, I won't dare to deal with you? Let me tell you, Heavenly King Tu and I are close friends. Do you want me to invite Heavenly King Tu over before you submit?" Fire Sky Halberd's eyes were cold as he threatened. Right and wrong have their own twists and turns. Justice is in everyone's heart. I think that even if His Highness were to come, he would only side with reason and not kinship. The Marquis smiled and fearlessly said, "Such a glib tongue. However, even if you have iron teeth, don't think that I'll let him go." Fire Sky Halberd didn't expect the Marquis to not give him any face. The fire in his heart burned even more fiercely as he glared at the Marquis. At this time, more and more spectators were watching the conflict between the two, but no one came forward to mediate. Yi Chunfeng slowly stepped forward and stared at the ferocious Fire Sky Halberd. He fearlessly said, "Sacred Fire Valley Master, Fire God City is not your Sacred Fire Valley. It is not a place for you to act arrogantly. Have you come to the wrong place? You court death." Fire Sky Halberd didn't expect Yi Chunfeng to teach him a lesson in front of so many people. A terrifying aura burst out from his imposing body and swept towards Yi Chunfeng like raging waves, wanting to force him to kneel on the ground. Facing the aura released by Fire Sky Halberd, Yi Chunfeng stood in front of Zhao Yan. The energy of the true soul pearls in his 5 apertures burst out and instantly filled his body. Relying on his absolute strength, he resisted the aura that was enough to suffocate a level 6 combat beast emperor. He straightened his back and stood majestically. Sacred Fire Valley Master, come at me if you have the ability. What's the point of bullying a junior? Anger burst out from Heavenly King 2's plump body and bombarded the aura released by Fire Sky Halberd as he said furiously. Just as the battle was about to break out, the furious Fire Sky Halberd saw Heavenly King 2 and Di Mingyue, who was wearing a long emerald dress and had an extraordinary temperament. Di Mingyue raised her head like a noble peacock and walked towards them from afar. Seeing Heavenly King 2 appear, Fire Sky Halberd revealed a cold smile and shouted, "Heavenly King 2, your subordinates are doing evil and are openly going against our sacred Fire Valley. Shouldn't you do something about it?" Heavenly King 2's soul was extremely strong. He had already noticed the conflict between Fire Sky Halberd and Heavenly King Tuesday. However, Heavenly King 2 had to give Heavenly King 2 some face now that Heavenly King 2 had the support of the Tao Addict. He didn't want to have another conflict with Heavenly King Tuesday. As if he didn't hear Fire Sky Halberd's shout, he glanced at him and quickly left with Di Mingyue. Heavenly King 2, Fire Sky Halberd continued to shout when he saw Heavenly King 2 avoiding him. Fire Valley Master, are you really close friends with Heavenly King 2? Why do I feel that Heavenly King 2 is looking at you like you're the plague? Aren't you bragging a little too much? Yi Chunfeng revealed a faint smile as he looked at the surprised Heavenly King 2 and said mockingly, "You, Fire Sky Halberd was indeed close with Heavenly King Tuesday." He didn't understand Heavenly King 2's actions, and Yi Chunfeng's mockery made him even angrier. At this moment, Heavenly King 2, Jiao Yuyan, and the others suddenly revealed a smile. This made Fire Sky Halberd feel extremely humiliated. He couldn't control the anger in his heart anymore. It doesn't matter whether Heavenly King 2 is here or not. Your fates are destined to be unchangeable. Today, I'll let everyone know that there's only one outcome for offending our sacred Fire Valley, and that's death. Fire Sky Halberd had never seen such an arrogant junior. If he couldn't teach them a painful lesson today, the sacred Fire Valley's reputation would be ruined. This made him reveal his killing intent towards Yi Chunfeng. Just as he was about to kill Yi Chunfeng, he suddenly felt danger behind him. His heart tightened and he instinctively dodged to the side. However, the moment he dodged, an unimaginable power descended from the sky. It was like a towering mountain that ruthlessly pressed down on his body, causing his body to tremble. He instantly lost the ability to dodge and froze on the spot. In the next moment, a large foot ruthlessly kicked him in the butt, destroying his body's defenses and sending him flying. The Sacred Fire Valley Master, Nirvana's expert, and Central World's top Sage Master, Fire Sky Halberd, was in an extremely sorry state. He fell head first onto the ground. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read next time, you can click on the Save button below to record your reading record. You'll be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1161. Who? Fire Sky Halberd, whose face was covered in dust, crawled up from the ground. He was like an enraged lion, glaring with his terrifying eyes and roaring angrily. Watermark advertisement test 1. A feeling of humiliation that he'd never experienced before filled his heart, and it completely stimulated the ferocity and killing intent in his heart. At this moment, he only wanted to kill. He wanted to use the most bloody method to kill the person who'd launched a surprise attack against him and wash away the humiliation in his heart. "I'll kick you." The Tao Addict, who was dressed in a linen robe, picked her nose and said arrogantly. She did not have the demeanor of a master. Behind the Tao Addict, there was a middle-aged man and two old men. Like the Tao addict, the three of them were dressed in ordinary clothes and did not reveal any aura. However, when the three of them stood there, they formed an invisible monstrous chi, which made people not dare to look at them directly. The Tao addict looking at the Tao addict in a linen robe, the anger on Fiery Sky Halberd's face disappeared instantly and his brows were tightly knitted together. He had never offended the Tao addict, so he could not figure out why the Tao addict would suddenly help Wang Tian Marquis and others to teach him a lesson. But thinking of the Tao addict's strength and status in the central continent, Fiery Sky Halberd knew that he could not offend her. He had to suppress the anger in his heart and forced a smile that was uglier than crying. He said, "Senior, I know I did not offend you. Why did you sneak up on me?" "Sneak up on you?" The Tao addict sneered and said rudely, "You are not worthy of my sneak attack. Do you really think you are invincible just because you are the master of the sacred Fire Valley? Then why did you attack me?" Fiery Sky Halberd saw that the Tao addict did not give him any face and trembled with anger. But the Tao addict's aura was too terrifying and the three people behind her were even more terrifying. He could only suppress his anger and ask politely, "I was teaching you a lesson. Don't be so arrogant." The Tao addict scolded loudly. "Senior, do you know them?" Hearing the Tao addict's words, Fiery Sky Halberd had a bad feeling and asked in a low voice, "Little Halberd, I think you have eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts. You dare to bully anyone. Do you think Nirvana's strength is invincible?" The Tao addict looked at Fiery Sky Halberd, who was livid and trembling uncontrollably, and scolded loudly. Halberd hearing how the Tao addict addressed Fire Sky Halberd, Yi Chunfeng deliberately laughed. Although the onlookers did not laugh, their faces turned red. This form of address was too insulting. Fire Sky Halberd was so angry that he almost vomited blood. "Senior, I didn't mean to bully them, but they went too far and were arrogant. Not only did they openly snatch my son's treasure, but they also deliberately targeted my sacred Fire Valley in the elimination round just now, causing all the other disciples to be eliminated except for my son." Fire Sky Halberd glared at Yi Chunfeng, who had mocked him. He gritted his teeth and explained stubbornly. Yi Chunfeng sneered as he retorted. Valley Master Hua's ability to distort the truth was truly impressive. "What? You still want to quibble?" Fire Sky Halberd glared at Yi Chunfeng with his blood-red eyes. He couldn't wait to cut Yi Chunfeng into 1,000 pieces to vent the hatred in his heart. "Valley Master Hua, since you say that I'm quibbling, can I ask you and your son a few questions?" Yi Chunfeng ignored Fire Sky Halberd's angry eyes and sneered. "That treasure is an ownerless item in the sevenfold fire domain. Your son and I were competing fairly, but his strength was inferior to mine, so I snatched the treasure away. Why did you say that I snatched your son's item? Is the ninefold fire cave the private property of your sacred Fire Valley? Also, you said that I targeted your sacred Fire Valley in the elimination round just now. But why don't you ask why Yuyan and I targeted your sacred Fire Valley instead of others among more than 2,000 people? Your son went too far. If he didn't deliberately take revenge on me by destroying the soul of the Pavilion Elder in the ancient Medicine Mountain and insulting Yuyan in public, I wouldn't have targeted him for no reason." "What? Insulting Yuyan in public?" Before Fire Sky Halberd and the Fire Spirit Saint could refute, a surge of anger burst out from the Tao addict. "Fire Sky Halberd, do you believe that the four of us will go to your sacred Fire Valley, destroy your foundation, take away the 5 elements sacred fire, and remove your sacred Fire Valley from the central world? Senior, please don't be angry. This is just nonsense. Senior, please don't take it seriously." Fire Sky Halberd didn't know the relationship between Zhao Yuan and the Tao addict. Looking at the agitated and furious Tao addict, he kept explaining. "Yuan, is what Feng Chen said true? Someone wanted to humiliate you in the ancient Medicine Mountain." The Tao addict didn't listen to Fire Sky Halberd's explanation. She looked at Jiao Yuyan and asked in a low voice, Master, what Feng Chen said is true. The fire spirit saint held a grudge against Feng Chen and deliberately participated in the elimination round to take revenge on us. My master's soul was destroyed by them and lost the qualification for the preliminary round. They blocked me at the entrance of the valley and tried to humiliate me. If my soul wasn't strong enough, I'm afraid, at the end, Jiao Yuyan bit her lips and didn't know how to continue. Master. Hearing Jiao Yuyan's address of the Tao addict, Fire Sky Halberd was stunned. The fire spirit saint was stunned. The onlookers were also stunned. At this time, Fire Sky Halberd finally knew why the Tao addict suddenly attacked him. He also knew why Wang Tian Marquis and the others were not afraid of him. He also understood why Heavenly King Tongtu looked at him like a plague. It was all because Jiao Yuyan was the Tao addict's disciple. Fire Sky Halberd, how dare you humiliate my disciple? I will destroy you today. The Tao addict was angry. The explosive power in her body shook the whole space. She grabbed the void and directly grabbed Fire Sky Halberd, whose face changed greatly, in front of her. Senior, it's all my fault. My father didn't know. He was deceived by me. If you want to punish someone, punish me. The saint's son of fire spirit knew how terrifying Qi was. He also knew the power he controlled. If he really wanted to destroy the sacred fire valley, the sacred fire valley would not be able to stop him. Helplessly, the saint's son of fire spirit could only stand up and kneel on the ground, kowtowing and apologizing. You want to humiliate my disciple? The Tao addict's pupils shrank. Her eyes, like two spears, suddenly condensed and directly pierced the saint's son of fire spirit. It broke his body's defense and penetrated his body. A lot of blood flowed out of his body. Senior, please have mercy. As long as you are willing to forgive us, I am willing to apologize. The fire spirit saint was Fire Sky Halberd's favorite son and the future hope of the sacred fire valley. If he was killed, it would bring irreparable loss to the sacred fire valley. In desperation, Fire Sky Halberd could only humiliate himself and beg for mercy. Tao addict, you are still so hot-tempered. At this time, a deep voice suddenly resounded. An old man with snow-white hair and a ruddy complexion, wearing a white alchemist robe, suddenly walked out of the crowd. He looked at the furious Tao addict and slowly said, This old man with a youthful face was as famous as the Tao addict. He was one of the top 10 individual cultivators in the Central World. He had practiced alchemy to an incredible level. He was even more famous than Master Jimie. He was Yao Yan, who had great appeal. When Yao Yan appeared, a middle-aged man standing behind the Tao addict in a black robe with long black hair casually draped over his shoulders suddenly opened his eyes. Invisible sword light burst out from his eyes, which made people not dare to look directly at him. The black-robed man also had a terrible identity. He was also one of the top 10 individual cultivators in the Central World. He was known as the Absolute Sword of the Emperor of 10,000 Swords. His attacking power was even above the Tao addict. 3 of the top 10 individual cultivators in the Central World appeared at the same time, which immediately became the absolute focus. The news was spread very quickly and caused a great uproar in the Fire God City. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1162. Yao Yan, you have to stand up for the sacred fire valley. Looking at the unfathomable Yao Yan, who was walking slowly with a faint herbal fragrance, the Tao addict's face darkened and she said coldly, Tao addict, Fire Sky Halberd is my disciple. Can you spare him for I's sake? Looking at the hostile Tao addict, Yao Yan showed a friendly smile and said calmly, I was wondering why the sacred fire valley was so arrogant and dared to bully my disciple. It turned out that it was you who supported them. The Tao addict looked deeply at Yao Yan's seemingly harmless face. She suppressed the anger in her heart and said coldly. Although the Tao addict could ignore the sacred fire valley, she still had scruples about Yao Yan, who was also one of the top 10 rogue cultivators. However, she was not worried about Yao Yan's strength, but Yao Yan's terrible appeal. Many old monsters in the central world were inextricably linked with Yao Yan and had received his favor. If those old monsters jumped out of their coffins to defend Yao Yan, the Tao addict would have a headache with her strength and influence. Tao addict, they are indeed wrong in this matter. However, as the saying goes, it takes two to clap. Your disciple and Fire Sky Halberd are actually indirect victims. Yao Yan looked at the Tao addict, who gradually calmed down and said slowly. What do you want to say? The Tao addict asked. Whoever started the trouble should end it. Since this matter was caused by the younger generation, should it be left to the younger generation to solve it? Yao Yan looked at Yi Chunfeng. Although his eyes were gentle, there seemed to be two flames burning in Yi Chunfeng's eyes. Senior is right. Since this matter was caused by me and the Saint Son of Fire Spirit, let us finally solve it. Hearing the threat in Yao Yan's words, Yi Chunfeng felt that the Tao addict was a little afraid of Yao Yan. He did not want to make things too awkward, so he slowly stood out and said, How do you want to solve it? Yao Yan showed a faint smile and asked softly. In the central world, everything depended on strength. Being strong was a kind of arrogance, and being weak was a kind of mistake. I will make a bet with the Saint Son of Fire Spirit. We will bet on our final results in the alchemy competition. If I win, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit will kowtow to me 3 times in front of everyone. In the future, when you see me, you will stay away from me. Yi Chunfeng said indifferently as he looked at the pale-faced flame spirit Holy Son, who was kneeling on the ground with 2 bloody holes in his body. All right, I promise you. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's suggestion, the flame spirit's Holy Son agreed without even thinking. Huoling, don't be in a hurry to agree. Listen to what I want first, Yi Chunfeng said with a calm expression and a faint smile. It was as if he had great confidence in himself. What do you want? The flame spirit saint asked coldly. I want your divine sense secret method that can increase strength through the amplitude of the 2 heavenly fires, Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. As soon as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, the flame spirit saint's face stiffened. He did not expect Yi Chunfeng to be so greedy. He even asked for the number 1 divine sense secret method of the sacred fire valley. What? You don't dare? If you don't dare, then I can only ask the Tao addict to help us get justice, Yi Chunfeng said sarcastically. All right, I promise you. Fire Sky Halberd, who had been caught by the Tao addict's hand of will of Wei, agreed on behalf of the flame spirit saint. Fengchen, what if you lose to me? The flame spirit saint stared at Yi Chunfeng with his blood-red eyes, gritted his teeth, and questioned him. You can state the conditions, Yi Chunfeng said generously. If you lose to me, you will kowtow to me 3 times in public and compensate me with the divine elixir, the flame spirit saint said loudly. The divine elixir. Hearing the flame spirit saint's shout, the onlookers exclaimed and looked at Yi Chunfeng. Some people even looked at Yi Chunfeng coldly, as if they were plotting something. All right, I promise you. Yi Chunfeng narrowed his eyes and looked at the flame spirit saint, who had deliberately said the divine elixir and pushed him to the edge of the battle, and agreed in a low voice. Tao addict, can you let him go now? Yao Yan took a deep look at Yi Chunfeng, turned his eyes to the Tao addict, and said with a chuckle, Get out of here. The Tao addict's mind moved, and the hand holding Fire Sky Halberd suddenly exerted force. Fire Sky Halberd spat out blood and his bones were broken. Then she threw him to Yao Yan, whose face changed slightly. Tao addict, aren't you going too far? Seeing the Tao addict deliberately humiliating Fire Sky Halberd, Yao Yan said in a low voice. Yao Yan, we have shown you enough respect by not killing him. If you continue to talk nonsense, no one can save them. The Absolute Sword, who had been silent but gave people a sense of extreme oppression, spoke. His voice was as sharp as his own. The Absolute Sword. Yao Yan's and the Absolute Sword's eyes collided, and invisible sparks surged. Let's go. Yao Yan suddenly smiled and did not speak again. He led the group of people from the sacred Fire Valley who had lost face and left this troublesome place. Boy, are you sure you can defeat Fire Spirit? After Yao Yan and the others left, the Tao addict cast her eyes to Yi Chunfeng and asked in a low voice. Senior, don't worry. Since I dared to bet with him, I have full confidence. Yi Chunfeng showed a confident smile and said, Let's go. Let's find a quiet place to talk. After Yao Yan and the others left, the Tao addict and the others did not stay for long. They quickly left and came to a quiet and shady ancient courtyard in the Fire God City. You are the junior who has cultivated the sword soul, right? Everyone sat under an ancient tree that required 4 people to hug. The Absolute Sword, who had been secretly sizing up Yi Chunfeng, suddenly asked in a sharp voice. Yes, I am. Yi Chunfeng nodded and admitted happily. Can you summon your sword soul and let me see it? The Absolute Sword asked, his eyes shining brighter than the stars. Sure. Yi Chunfeng moved his mind and summoned the Bronze Sword Soul. Bronze Sword Soul. Seeing the Sword Soul that Yi Chunfeng summoned, the light in the Absolute Sword's eyes became brighter. He did not expect the rumor to be true. Yi Chunfeng really cultivated the Bronze Sword Soul. Sigh, it seems that you and I are not destined to be master and disciple. Looking at Yi Chunfeng's Bronze Sword Soul, the Absolute Sword suddenly sighed. Senior, why did you say that? Jiao Yuyan asked in confusion. We both cultivate the Sword Soul Dao, but he is far ahead of me, so I am not qualified to be his master. The Absolute Sword said with a sigh. I am also lucky to be able to cultivate the Bronze Sword Soul. Yi Chunfeng said with neither arrogance nor humility. Luck is sometimes a performance of strength. Not everyone can seize the opportunity. The Absolute Sword said lightly. All right, don't be so humble. In terms of strength, how many people in the Central World can defeat you? The Tao addict said with a smile. Come, Fengchen Yuyan, let me introduce 3 of my friends to you. The Absolute Sword is one of the 10 great wandering cultivators of the Central World. Known as the Emperor of 10,000 Swords, he is as famous as the Sword Sect's old sect master. His attack power is definitely in the top 3 of the 10 great wandering cultivators. This violent dragon walks the path of body refinement. His body refinement technique has almost reached the limit of the Central World. He is even stronger than ordinary Saint Beast. He also has another identity, the Grand Supreme Elder of the Vast Heaven Palace. This is the Black Lightning King. We are sworn brothers. He comes from the Thunder Clan and is the Grand Supreme Elder of the Thunder Clan. The Tao addict introduced her 3 old friends to Yi Chunfeng and the others. After knowing the identities of the 3 old friends, Yi Chunfeng, Jiao Yuyan, and the others couldn't help but gasp and bow respectfully. Yuyan, these are from the 3 of them. The Tao addict gave the 3 treasures to Jiao Yuyan. Although the Tao addict didn't explain the origins of the 3 treasures in detail, Yi Chunfeng could tell that the 3 treasures were as valuable as low-grade saint artifacts. They were very rare. Fengchen, no matter the result of your competition with the fire spirit, you must be careful of Yao Yan. His strength isn't the strongest among us, but he is very shrewd and has high attainments in alchemy. In the Central World, there are many old monsters who are indebted to him. Therefore, the power he controls is something that even us 4 old guys are afraid of. This is why I gave him face today. But because of his enmity with the Sky Palace, he won't participate in the alchemy competition held by the Sky Palace. The race addict admired Yi Chunfeng very much and didn't want anything to happen to him. She told the information about Yao Yan to Yi Chunfeng. Thank you for the warning, Senior. I will be careful. Yi Chunfeng nodded. However, He had the universe realm, so he wasn't afraid of Yao Yan's revenge. Yi Chunfeng chatted with the four old monsters for a while. All of a sudden, he sensed that the Chaos Divine Wood had completely merged with the Chaos Force in the Black Stone and started to transform. He immediately excused himself and left the ancient courtyard, hurrying back to his room in the inn. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1163. Too much. They're too much. In a large courtyard in the northwest of Fire God City, Fire Sky Halberd, whose bones were crushed by the Tao Addict, was furious and roared. Although the Saint's son of Fire Spirit was sitting aside in silence, his gloomy face betrayed his inner thoughts. Yao Yan slowly savored a cup of tea full of spirituality and slowly said, "Okay, what is there to be angry about when your skills are inferior? Master, I must avenge this. Please help me, Fire Sky Halberd, who is going crazy. Halberd, tell me, how can I avenge this?" Yao Yan put down the teacup and looked at Fire Sky Halberd's sullen face. He said slowly, "The Tao Addict fears the power behind me, but I also fear his power." "But no buts." Yao Yan interrupted Fire Sky Halberd. "I agree with what Feng Qin said today. Being strong is a kind of arrogance, and being weak is a kind of mistake. It's inevitable to suffer losses. Grandmaster, I will not let you down. I will defeat him fair and square." The Saint's son of Fire Spirit suddenly knelt on the ground and swore. "Fire Spirit, your alchemy talent is indeed rare in the world, but you have to remember that there is always someone better than you. Feng Qin dared to propose a bet with you to solve the grudge between you, which proves that he has a high chance of defeating you." Yao Yan looked at the kneeling Saint's son of Fire Spirit and said lightly, "So before the competition, you'd better be prepared for the worst. You have to put down your burdens to have a glimmer of hope. Grandmaster, please help me. I can't lose." The Saint's son of Fire Spirit respectfully kowtowed 3 times to Yao Yan and begged. "Yes, you can't afford to lose. If you lose, your face is small, but the Heavenly Fire triple layer change is big. If the Heavenly Fire triple layer change is leaked, it may bring disaster to the Sacred Fire Valley." Yao Yan drank up the tea in the cup, took out a jade slip and gave it to the Saint's son of Fire Spirit. He said, "This is my alchemy experience. I'll lend it to you for 2 days. Return it to me after 2 days. Also, give up tomorrow's preliminary competition and sign up for the semi-final. Don't waste time." "Thank you, Grandmaster." The Saint's son of Fire Spirit took the jade slip with both hands and said excitedly. Although 2 days was a short time, with the Flame Spirit Saint's son's memory, he could completely memorize Yao Yan's tens of thousands of years of alchemy experience. When he merged with Yao Yan's alchemy experience, he could definitely improve his alchemy skills in a short time. Though he didn't expect to be able to concoct a quasi-sage pill because of this, it was extremely likely that he would be able to concoct an 8-veined Great Tao pill or even a 9-veined Great Tao pill and defeat Yi Chunfeng, who was only a 4-star alchemist. "Alright, go and cultivate. Don't disappoint me." Yao Yan waved his hand and said, "Yes, Grandmaster." The Flame Spirit Saint's son kowtowed to Yao Yan 3 more times before he left. He went into seclusion to study Yao Yan's tens of thousands of years of alchemy experience. "Master, I, the Tao Addict, do not expect to be able to take revenge. But, can you help me kill that little bastard Feng Qin? That brat is too hateful." Thinking that all his humiliation was caused by Yi Chunfeng, Fire Sky Halberd wanted to eliminate him to vent the hatred in his heart. Well, the Heavenly Fire triple change can't be lost. No matter who wins or loses, Feng Qin must die. Yao Yan's turbid eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness as he said coldly, "Great, the Chaos Divine Wood is finally growing. Back in the room of the inn, Yi Chunfeng immediately entered the universe mirror to sense the changes in the Chaos Divine Wood. After fusing with the power of chaos in the black crystal, the Chaos Divine Wood was much thicker. The 5-colored divine leaves on the tree crown had reached more than 5,000 pieces, which was twice as many as before. The tree crown had become more luxuriant, and the power of chaos contained in the tree body had become majestic and exuberant. He felt that the full blow of the transformed Chaos Divine Wood was enough to surpass the strongest blow of a low-grade holy treasure. The suppressive force had reached an extremely terrifying level. It could even suppress the real holy fire and holy thunder. Chaos Divine Wood fusion. The Chaos Divine Wood transformed. Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to devour the mysterious golden blood in the tree body. However, the golden blood was too mysterious. The transformed Chaos Divine Wood was still unable to devour it. After trying several times, Yi Chunfeng had no choice but to give up regretfully. Who left this drop of golden blood behind? Why was the Chaos Divine Wood unable to devour and fuse with it? Although Yi Chunfeng had a feeling that this golden blood might be inextricably linked to his background, if he couldn't fuse with the golden blood, all the secrets couldn't be unraveled. Everything was just his guess. After the Chaos Divine Wood failed to fuse with the golden blood, Yi Chunfeng took out the vermilion bird crown that he had traded with Black Tortoise and threw it into the vermilion bird cauldron. He spat out the heaven-burning initial sacred flame to refine it. Under the burning of the heaven-burning initial sacred flame and the amplification of the vermilion bird cauldron, the vermilion bird crown quickly melted. The impurities in the crown feather were constantly removed by Yi Chunfeng through his exquisite control of the flame. Soon, the vermilion bird crown feather turned into an extremely rich drop of vermilion bird essence blood without any impurities. And because this drop of essence blood came from the vermilion bird crown, this drop of essence blood was even richer and more powerful. Fuse with a thought, Yi Chunfeng fused this drop of refined vermilion bird essence blood into his body, forcibly controlling its fusion with the golden rock bloodline. Although the two bloodlines belonged to the same bloodline, they were still different. When he forcibly fused them, the vermilion bird essence blood rejected the golden rock bloodline and was unable to fuse with it. Not only did it damage Yi Chunfeng's meridians, but it also brought him great pain. Chaos Divine Wood, forcibly fuse enduring the waves of pain that came from his body, Yi Chunfeng controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to suppress the two bloodlines that were fiercely resisting each other and forcibly fusing them. Under the fusion of the Chaos Divine Wood and Chaos Divine Wood, the two bloodlines that were fiercely rejecting each other gradually calmed down and began to slowly fuse. They finally fused. Yi Chunfeng breathed a long sigh of relief. He controlled the spirit bead of life to pour down the power of life to repair his damaged meridians while controlling the Chaos Divine Wood to speed up the fusion of the two bloodlines. Once the golden rock bloodline could evolve further, Yi Chunfeng's flying speed would greatly increase, which would undoubtedly increase his ability to protect his life. Soon, the night passed. At dawn, under the effect of the Chaos Divine Wood, the vermilion bird essence blood and the golden rock bloodline were completely fused. After fusing with the refined vermilion bird essence blood, the golden rock bloodline reached the 4th grade. Once it was burned, it could instantly increase Yi Chunfeng's flying speed by 4 times. After the golden rock bloodline advanced, Yi Chunfeng left the Qiankuan realm and looked at the faint light outside the window. He revealed a cold smile and said, "Fire Spirit, are you ready?" He wanted to trample on all the pride and confidence of the Fire Spirit Saint in the competition, making him fall from the altar and unable to recover. After taking a bath and changing clothes, Yi Chunfeng, who was in good spirits, left the room early and met up with Zhao Yuyan and the others. Stepping on the morning sun, they walked towards the Fire God Palace. The preliminary round began. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the bookmark at the bottom to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1164. As expected, the Flame Spirit Saint's son gave up on the preliminary round. When Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan arrived at the Fire God Palace early, they did not see the Flame Spirit Saint's son among the alchemists. However, he had expected that the Flame Spirit Saint's son would give up on the preliminary round and enter the semifinals, so he was not surprised. Moreover, he had guessed that Yao Yan would help the Flame Spirit Saint's son improve his alchemy skills in these 2 days. However, he did not care, as he believed that he could crush the Flame Spirit Saint's son in terms of result. As the time of the competition approached, more and more alchemists gathered in the White Jade Square. Among them, there was no lack of 7-star and 8-star alchemists. "All right, everyone, quiet down." The great guardian, Xian Zhangxin, who was in charge of the elimination round yesterday, appeared. He stepped in the air and looked at the 2,000 alchemists who were participating in the preliminary round. He said in a deep voice, "The glory is right in front of you. Whoever can grasp it will be the final king. All right, everyone listen up and enter the Heaven Fire world." As he spoke, Xian Zhangxin took out a multi-edged stone plate and opened the entrance to the Heaven Fire world that was hidden above the Fire God Palace. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. There was an ear-piercing sound as close to 2,000 alchemists flew into the sky like arrows. They fought to be the first to enter the Heaven Fire world. Stone platforms, so many stone platforms. After entering the Heaven Fire world, Yi Chunfeng realized that there were 2,000 huge stone platforms that were shrouded in restrictions floating in the air. On each stone platform, there were many identical herbs. Many people had already occupied the stone platforms in advance. Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan did not fight for the best stone platforms. Instead, they chose 2 stone platforms that were further away and waited for the preliminary round to begin. The rules of this preliminary round are the same as the previous years. There are 3 rounds of preliminary round. In the first round of preliminary round, everyone must refine the same type of pill. If you can refine an elixir with 5 patterns and above, you will pass the first round of preliminary round. However, the herbs on the stone platforms are limited. You only have 1 chance to refine elixir. If you fail, you will be eliminated. Also, you only have 4 hours to refine elixir. Everyone, get ready. The competition begins. Xian Zhangxin announced loudly. As soon as Xian Zhangxin finished speaking, the restriction on the stone platform disappeared. Everyone quickly picked up the pill recipe and memorized it. Low-grade Dao Core, profound ice Dao Core. It can increase the strength of water attribute cultivators. Refining the Dao Core requires 23 types of medicinal herbs. Yi Chunfeng memorized the 23 types of herbs needed to refine the black ice Dao Core. He cast his gaze towards the 50-odd herbs on the stone platform. His hands moved like lightning as he grabbed the herbs from the pile of herbs. Very quickly, he picked out the 23 medicinal herbs needed to concoct the pill. There's something wrong with these 2 herbs? Yi Chunfeng took out a middle-grade Dao treasure-level cauldron. Just as he was about to concoct the elixir, he suddenly felt that there was something wrong with the purple-backed helianthus and the Lophotheria bamboo spirit leaf among the 23 herbs. Their spirituality was incomplete. How could this be? These 2 unique herbs are actually incomplete? Yi Chunfeng's brows were tightly knitted together. When he looked around, he found that many alchemists also showed a dignified look. They muttered to themselves, "The first round of the preliminary competition is really not simple. It's almost impossible to refine a profound ice Dao Core with more than 5 veins with incomplete herbs. If you directly concoct the elixir, it will most likely explode." This is staghorn grass. When Yi Chunfeng's sharp eyes scanned the remaining herbs, a dark brown, furry grass with the shape of a staghorn appeared in front of his eyes. Although this staghorn grass was not the herb listed in the pill recipe, Yi Chunfeng, who had integrated a lot of alchemy memories, thought that the biggest role of staghorn grass was to restore the spirituality of herbs. If it was refined into the elixir, it could restore the spirituality of the purple-backed Helianthus and the Lophotheria bamboo spirit leaf. So this is where the mystery lies. After finding the solution, Yi Chunfeng did not hesitate and threw the 23 medicinal herbs and the deer horn grass into the cauldron. Then, he spat out a mouthful of death flame, heavenly flame, and ignited the cauldron. He began to purify the 24 medicinal herbs. Refining 24 herbs at the same time was a test of one's soul, alchemy skills, and flame control, but for Yi Chunfeng, it wasn't much of a challenge. His hands were like flowing clouds, continuously making exquisite hand seals to control the death flame, which was burning more and more fiercely, and purifying the 20 herbs in an exquisite manner. In less than an incense stick's worth of time, the 20 herbs that had withered and melted had turned into 24 drops of pure spirit liquid. There were no impurities in this spirit liquid, it was pure and flawless. Condense. After the purification, Yi Chunfeng's soul controlled the death flame heavenly fire to condensing the 24 drops of pure spirit liquid together. Because of the staghorn grass's restoration spirit liquid, the spirituality of the purple-backed Helianthus and Lophotheria bamboo spirit leaf didn't affect the process of condensing the elixir. The 24 drops of spirit liquid smoothly condensed into 2 milky white elixir embryonic forms. Elixir patterns fuse. After the elixir embryonic forms were formed, Yi Chunfeng's hands quickly condensed. Elixir patterns that seemed to have a life of their own appeared in the void. Under his soul control, they fused into the 2 drops of milky white elixir through the pill furnace, increasing the quality of the elixir. Just as Yi Chunfeng was trying his best to condense the elixir and fuse the elixir patterns, there was an ear-piercing explosion in the silent heaven fire world. A 6-star alchemist stared blankly at the pill furnace that was emitting a burnt smell. He revealed a look of disbelief. How is this possible? I followed the elixir recipe completely, and there were no flaws in the purification. How could I fail? He opened the pill furnace and saw a pile of black medicinal ash at the bottom. This 6-star alchemist couldn't accept this fact at all. This was because with his abilities as a 6-star alchemist, he would have a high success rate in refining middle-grade Dao elixir, let alone low-grade Dao elixir. Just as he was recalling the reason for his failure, there was a continuous explosion in the heaven fire world that was filled with a thick medicinal fragrance and fire chi. Looking at the charred medicinal ash in each other's pill furnaces, these alchemists who had failed to refine elixir were shocked. They were at a loss and didn't know what went wrong when they were refining elixir. 1. Suddenly, the rumbling of a cauldron rang out. Yi Chunfeng, who had finished concocting the pills at the fastest speed, slapped the scalding cauldron. 2 10-veined profound ice Dao cores, emitting a faint cold air, flew out and were caught in Yi Chunfeng's palm. Sure enough, among these alchemists, he is the most outstanding one. Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who was the first to refine 2 10 runes black ice Dao elixir, Xian Zhangxin's old face revealed a rare smile. In just 3 breaths, Jiao Yuyan followed after Yi Chunfeng and refined 2 10 runes black ice Dao elixir, completing her refinement. At this time, Sky Marquis Mu Qinghua, who was watching the competition through the light barrier, revealed a proud smile when he saw Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan standing out from the other alchemists and completing their refinement. Just based on their results in the first round, the Sky Marquis Pavilion could be promoted to a 5-star Marquis Pavilion. As time passed, many alchemists with extraordinary strength completed their refinement. Among them, there was no lack of 10 runes elixir. However, there were also many who failed and were eliminated. In this tense atmosphere, 4 hours passed. The first round of intense preliminaries ended. Mobile reading website, book address, To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open your bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1165. A loud bell suddenly rang in the heavenly fire world and reached everyone's ears. Alright, the refining is over. Everyone, stop refining. Xian Zhangxin appeared in the void and looked at the 2,000 alchemists with different expressions. He said in a deep voice, "Place the elixir that you have refined on the stone platform. The stone platform will check. Alchemists who failed in refining elixir or whose elixir quality is not good enough will be teleported out of the heavenly fire world by the stone platform." Soon, many stone platforms shot out beams of teleportation light. Almost 800 alchemists were teleported out of the heavenly fire world. As they left, the stone platforms disappeared as well. At this time, Xian Zhangxin, the host of the preliminary round, said, "Congratulations on the second round of the preliminary round. The second round will test your speed and proficiency in refining pills. Each of you will have 2 hours to refine pills. Whoever can refine the most pills in 2 hours will be the winner. We will rank you according to the number of pills you have refined and the quality of the pills you have refined. The top 300 will advance to the last round of the preliminary round. Alright, take a break for 2 hours. After 2 hours, we will begin the second round." Although the second round was more difficult, it was still not a challenge for Yi Chenfeng. He sat beside the stone platform in silence and adjusted his breath while waiting for the second round to begin. Soon 2 hours passed. Almost 900 stone platforms suddenly shot out a large amount of white light. It was so bright that no one could open their eyes. When the glaring white light disappeared, 10 elixir recipes sealed in a seal appeared on the stone platforms at the same time. There were also hundreds of herbs piled up together. Everyone, get ready. The second preliminary round begins. Xian Zhangxin looked at the alchemists who were ready. With his command, the second preliminary round began. The seal on the stone platforms disappeared instantly. Yi Chenfeng was like most of the alchemists. He grabbed the pill formulas one by one and quickly memorized the medicinal herbs in the 10 pill formulas. Then, he turned his gaze towards the pile of medicinal herbs that was piled up like a small mountain. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Yi Chenfeng extended his right hand quickly and accurately grabbed the herbs in the elixir recipes. He then threw them into the cauldron. What is he doing? Could it be that he wants to concoct 10 types of pills at the same time? Xian Zhangxin, who had been secretly observing Yi Chenfeng, found that Yi Chenfeng had thrown nearly 200 herbs needed to refine 10 low-grade Dao pills into the pill furnace. His snow-white eyebrows twitched slightly as a look of surprise appeared on his old face. Xian Zhangxin was not the only one who was attracted by Yi Chenfeng's bold move. Many people in the viewing pavilion cast their eyes on Yi Chenfeng, wondering what he was going to do. On the other hand, Wang Tian Marquis, Mu Qinghua, and the others were extremely relaxed. They had already seen Yi Chenfeng's heaven-defying alchemy skills, so they weren't worried about him. After finding the 189 herbs needed to refine 10 low-grade Dao pills, Yi Chenfeng opened his mouth and poured the death flame heavenly flame into the pill furnace. He controlled the burning death flame heavenly flame according to the elixir recipes and cleverly divided a large number of herbs, releasing a powerful soul force to purify the 189 herbs at the same time. Damn, where did that boy come from? How can he be so crazy? Refining 10 types of Dao pills in a single pill furnace at the same time? What the hell is he trying to do? What else can he do? Of course he wants to show off, but it won't be so easy. I think he'll most likely fail in the alchemy. Failure is certain. I've seen many people like him who try to please the crowd, but in the end, none of them have a good ending. Witnessing Yi Chenfeng refining 10 different types of Dao pills at the same time, the viewing pavilion suddenly burst into discussion. Almost no one was optimistic about Yi Qinfeng's chances. They didn't believe that he could be so heaven-defying as to refine 10 types of Tao pills at the same time. Damn, what is that boy trying to do? Could it be that he knows he's no match and is deliberately giving up in this way? In a quiet room in the viewing pavilion, Fire Sky Halberd witnessed Yi Qinfeng's feat of refining 10 types of Tao pills at the same time and was shocked as he cursed out loud. He's trying to show off to us. Yao Yan slowly savored the fragrant spirit tea in his cup as he looked at Yi Qinfeng, who was performing alchemy smoothly like flowing water, and slowly said, "Show off? Master, do you think he can succeed?" Fire Sky Halberd raised his brow and asked in disbelief. "If it were you, would you joke about a saint pill? Moreover, if he lost to the fire spirit, what he lost was not only a saint pill, but also his dignity." Yao Yan drank the tea in his cup and said, "So he's trying to show off to us. He wants us to know his superb alchemy skills and his belief in victory. Master, we can't lose this battle. Once we lose, our sacred Fire Valley's reputation will be ruined and it will be difficult for us to raise our heads again." As a Saint Master, Fire Sky Halberd knew how difficult it was to refine 10 different types of Tao pills in the same alchemy furnace. Even he didn't have full confidence. If Yi Qinfeng really succeeded, then his alchemy skills would be too terrifying. "Calm down, he wants us to panic." Yao Yan put down his teacup as a cold light flashed in his turbid eyes. "This boy is quite smart, but unfortunately, things won't be smooth sailing. He is destined to be the loser." After more than an hour of purification, the 189 medicinal herbs had all turned into drops of pure spiritual liquid. At this time, Yi Qinfeng did not stop at all. He continuously spat 2 mouthfuls of death flame into the alchemy furnace, increasing the power of the flames. At the same time, he condensed 10 low-grade Tao cores. Although condensing 10 low-grade Tao pills at the same time was more difficult than purifying them at the same time, Yi Qinfeng, who had fused with a large number of soul fragments, had the experience that many Saint Masters didn't have. His alchemy skills were even more mysterious. As his hands moved, the patterns on the alchemy furnace were like lively little fish, swaying in the void and constantly drilling into the alchemy furnace, increasing the quality of the low-grade Tao pills one by one. Amazing, this Feng Chen is skilled in alchemy and has the demeanor of a great master. This boy might really be able to rush into the top 10 as the Hall Master predicted. Xian Zhangxin, who had been observing Yi Qinfeng's alchemy, saw Yi Qinfeng's calm expression and experienced technique. The whole process was completed in one go, which made him admire him even more. About an hour later, Yi Qinfeng opened his eyes, which shone like lightning. His hands rhythmically patted the pill furnace, which was scalding hot from the death blaze heavenly flames. Every time he patted the furnace with his palm, a low-grade Tao pill would be formed. After 10 consecutive taps, all 10 low-grade Tao pills were formed. With scorching hot energy, they rushed out of the alchemy furnace lid and flew into the air. Witnessing the scene of 10 low-grade Tao cores rushing to fly out of the cauldron, the crowd watching the competition through the light wall was dumbfounded, revealing a look of seeing a ghost. The spectating hall, which was still a little noisy just now, suddenly quieted down. It could be said that Yi Qinfeng's superb alchemy skills had shocked everyone, shattering all doubts and letting everyone see how terrifying he was. His amazing performance was like a thorn in the hearts of the sacred Fire Valley's people. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the Save button below to record this reading record. Next time you open the bookshelf, you will see it. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1166. Success. That brat really succeeded. Although he had expected this, Fire Sky Halberd was still shocked when he saw Yi Qinfeng refining 10 low-grade Tao cores at the same time through the light barrier. His expression became extremely gloomy. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. This Feng Qin is indeed more outstanding than I had imagined. Right now, I really want to know what his limits are. Yao Yen did not reveal the slightest trace of surprise as he calmly said. With his age, he shouldn't be able to refine a quasi-sage pill. Fire Sky Halberd said in a low voice. If Yi Chenfeng had the strength to refine a quasi-sage pill, they would have no chance of turning the tables. Quasi-sage pill is not something that anyone can refine. With your strength, the success rate of refining a quasi-sage pill is less than 10%. Yao Yen said slowly. As long as he can't refine a quasi-sage pill, with Huoling's strength, there is still hope to defeat him. Fire Sky Halberd said with relief. Alright, let's go back. Yao Yen said as he slowly stood up. Master, there is still one more round in the preliminary round. Are we not going to continue watching? Fire Sky Halberd asked in confusion. No, I already know his strength. There is no need to continue watching. Yao Yen shook his head and led Fire Sky Halberd and the others out of the viewing pavilion. Feng Qin, give me the 10 low-grade Dao pills that you have refined. I want to see the quality of these 10 Dao pills. Xian Zhangxin floated over to Yi Chenfeng's side. When he saw Yi Chenfeng's calm expression and calm aura, he said softly. Yes. Yi Chenfeng nodded and handed the 10 low-grade Dao pills to Xian Zhangxin. 10 mark pills. These 10 low-grade Dao pills are all 10 mark pills. Looking at the 10 low-grade Dao pills that Yi Chenfeng had refined, Xian Zhangxin's pupils shrunk and a trace of surprise appeared on his old face. Not bad, not bad. You are more outstanding than we thought. Do well in the competition. We look forward to your more exciting performance. Xian Zhangxin praised Yi Chenfeng and left. We? Yi Chenfeng frowned slightly. From Xian Zhangxin's words, he felt that someone was paying attention to him, but he couldn't guess who they were. After Yi Chenfeng, Jiao Yuyan once again stood out from the crowd of alchemists. After close to 4 hours, she successfully refined 10 low-grade Dao cores. Moreover, the quality of each Dao core reached the level of 10 veins. Very quickly, 4 hours passed. The deafening sound of the bell rang once again, interrupting the alchemists who had yet to complete their matches. Due to the fact that it was not easy to refine 10 low-grade Dao Dan in 4 hours, almost 80% of the alchemists would not be able to completely refine them. However, there were 300 spots for advancement, and the alchemists who had not completed all of the pill refinement still had the qualifications to advance. In the end, under the Sky Hall's alchemists' inspection, the top 300 alchemists were determined. Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan were ranked first and second respectively. Alright, the eliminated contestants can leave the Sky Fire world now. Those who have advanced, you have 6 hours to rest. After 6 hours, the final preliminary round will begin. Those who have advanced will be able to participate in the semi-finals tomorrow. Xian Zhangxin announced loudly. He controlled the mysterious stone platforms and sent the defeated contestants out of the Sky Fire world. Good luck! Yi Chenfeng and Jiao Yuyan looked at each other across the space seal and encouraged each other verbally. They then sat cross-legged beside the stone platforms and quietly adjusted their breathing to recover their strength. Very quickly, 4 hours passed. The third round of the preliminaries will test everyone's true strength. I have all sorts of pill recipes here. You can choose according to your strength. As for this old man, I will rank you according to the level and quality of the pills you refine. The top 100 will advance to the semi-finals tomorrow. Alright, according to the ranking just now, we will begin to choose the pill formulas for Dao cores. Feng Qin, what grade of Dao core are you going to refine? Xian Zhangxin first asked Yi Chenfeng, who had just obtained first place. Supreme grade Dao core. Yi Chenfeng said without hesitation. His voice was filled with confidence in his strength. Jiao Yuyan and Yi Chenfeng were the same. They both chose to refine supreme grade Dao cores. If they succeeded, they would be awarded the 8-star badge by the Heaven Elixir Pill after the competition. The Skyview Pavilion would also become a 7-star pavilion because of the two of them. Due to the high difficulty of refining supreme-grade Dao cores and the low success rate, ordinary 8-star alchemists were not willing to choose. Except for Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yiyan, no one else chose to refine supreme-grade Dao cores. After the 300 alchemists had chosen their pill formulas, the herbs needed for refining pills appeared on the mysterious stone platforms. Everyone, get ready. You have 8 hours to refine pills. Begin. With Xian Zhongxin's order, the final preliminary round began. Yi Chunfeng glanced at the 19 herbs on the stone platform and threw all of them into the medium-grade alchemy furnace. Then, he sprayed the death flame heavenly fire and began to purify them. Zhao Yuyan was much more cautious than him. She put away the medium-grade Dao Treasure Purple Gold Furnace and took out the Quasi-Dao Treasure Phoenix Furnace that the Dao Addict had given her. The moment the Phoenix Furnace appeared, it reflected an endless red light. When Zhao Yuyan injected the Cold Solitude Heavenly Fire into the Phoenix Furnace, it activated the Phoenix Rune in the furnace. A lifelike Phoenix Phantom Divine Bird emerged from the furnace. This Phoenix Phantom Divine Bird was the artifact spirit of the Phoenix Furnace. The Phoenix Furnace. How could this extraordinary Saint Furnace, which has been passed down for tens of thousands of years, appear in the hands of that little girl? Who is she? Many highly respected and powerful alchemists recognized the origin of the true Phoenix incinerating furnace, and their eyes widened in disbelief. Some of them even showed greed in their eyes. Refining a top-grade Dao pill was extremely difficult. Any slight deviation would lead to failure. At this time, Yi Chunfeng cleared all distracting thoughts from his mind and focused on refining the top-grade Dao pill, not daring to make the slightest mistake. Under his exquisite control of the flames, the impurities in the 19 herbs were extracted and floated in the furnace. At this time, Yi Chunfeng spat out 5 more mouthfuls of death flames into the cauldron, increasing the power and heat of the flames in the cauldron. He controlled the 19 drops of spirit Y to fuse quickly and condense the supreme-grade Dao core. While condensing the pills, Yi Chunfeng's hands continuously formed a series of pill veins. These pill veins were the pill veins needed to upgrade a top-grade Dao pill, which required an extremely high level of alchemy heritage to master. As time passed minute by minute, a rich medicinal fragrance was released from the furnace in front of Yi Chunfeng. At this time, Yi Chunfeng could already form the pills. But, in order to refine the top-grade Dao pill to the best quality and form 10 pill veins, Yi Chunfeng tirelessly condensed the mysterious pill veins. Pung pung pung. When it was close to 6 hours later, pills broke out of the pill furnaces and flew into the air. Many people had finished refining their pills, but most of these pills were mid-grade Dao pills. There were very few high-grade Dao pills that appeared. Pill form. Yi Chunfeng concentrated on refining for more than 6 hours before finally condensing the top-grade Dao core into a 10 veins pill. Using a mysterious technique, he slapped the boiling hot pill furnace fiercely and condensed the death flame heavenly fire within the pill furnace, condensing 2 perfect 10 veins pills in one go. The moment Yi Chunfeng formed his pills, 2 10 veins Dao pills of the same quality flew out of the Phoenix incinerating furnace and were caught by Zhao Yuyan's delicate hands. After refining the top-grade Dao pills, Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yuyan looked at each other and revealed a faint smile. Soon, 8 hours passed, and almost 90% of the alchemists had finished refining their pills. After the inspection by Xian Zhongxin and the other Heavenly Hall experts, Yi Chunfeng, Zhao Yuyan, and the rest of the 100 alchemists successfully advanced to the next round. Tomorrow, they would compete with dozens of 9th-grade alchemists in the semifinals. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read this book next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this book. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1167. Feng Chen, your performance today was too perfect. I'm proud of you. Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan were like an immortal couple. When they walked out of the majestic flame divine temple, Wang Tian Marquis and the others immediately went to greet them. When Wang Tian Marquis, Mu Qinghua, and the others saw the 8-star insignia on Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan's chests, they became even more excited. Although Mu Qinghua had been schemed against by the Flame Spirit Holy Sun and lost the qualifications to participate in the preliminaries, with Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan's results, the Wangtian Pavilion had the qualifications to become a 7-star celestial pavilion. When the Wangtian Pavilion became a 7-star celestial pavilion, it would bring unimaginable benefits to Wangtian capital. Adding on their influence, they would be able to attract a large number of alchemists to join them, strengthening Wangtian capital's foundation. Compared to Feng Chen, I'm still lacking. I don't have the courage to refine 10 Dao pills at the same time, said Jiao Yuyan as she looked gently at Yi Chunfeng. That was true. When they had seen Feng Chen refine 10 Dao pills at the same time, the entire Wangtian pavilion had gone into an uproar. And the instant he succeeded, everyone was stunned. Mu Qinghua praised. Let's go back to the inn and celebrate. Then you can prepare for tomorrow's semifinals. After saying that, Yi Chunfeng's group left the Fire Divine Palace and returned to the inn under the shocked gazes of many people. Night fell and countless stars hung in the sky. The starlight merged with the bright moonlight. It was incomparably resplendent. From a distance, it looked like the Milky Way. After eating dinner, Yi Chunfeng returned to his room and placed down a soundproof restriction. He began to recover and adjust his condition. Not long after he entered his meditative state, a series of soft knocks came from outside the soundproof restriction, disturbing Yi Chunfeng. Yi Chunfeng frowned slightly. After hesitating for a moment, he dispersed the soundproof restriction and opened the door. He saw a tall woman wearing a white gauze dress. Her facial features were extremely delicate, and she emitted a faint fragrance. She was standing outside the door with a plate of pastries. Can I help you? Yi Chunfeng asked in a low voice as he looked at the woman who had a perfect figure and delicate skin. She had the ability to stimulate men's kidney glands and increase her charm in a short period of time. The Marquis ordered me to bring some pastries to young Master Feng. The woman in white looked at Yi Chunfeng with soft eyes and said in a charming voice, "Let me in." Yi Chunfeng looked her up and down and said indifferently, "Young master, eat the pastries while they're hot. Don't eat them when they're cold." The woman in white bent her body slightly, revealing a beautiful curve. She elegantly placed the 3 plates of pastries on the table and said softly, "Did the Marquis really send you here?" Yi Chunfeng asked softly, his pupils constricting as he looked at the charming white-clothed girl. "If you don't believe me, you can go and ask the Marquis," the white-robed woman said softly with a charming smile. "Don't act. The Marquis will not send a woman with a perfume to bring me pastries." Yi Chunfeng said slowly. A powerful aura emanated from his body and locked onto the woman in white with an indifferent expression. "Young master, are you kidding? How can I have a perfume? If you don't believe me, you can check my body." With that, the woman in white with a blush on her delicate face suddenly reached behind her back and untied the sash of her dress. Suddenly, the white gauze dress slid down her smooth skin and fell to her feet. A flawless body was exposed in front of Yi Chunfeng. Suddenly, a peerless killing intent appeared in the woman's blurred eyes. 3 extremely thin black needles containing highly toxic poison flew out from her fingertips and shot towards the 3 major acupoints on Yi Chunfeng's body, trying to penetrate Yi Chunfeng's body. In the face of the 3 poisonous needles, Yi Chunfeng did not dodge. Instead, he met them head-on. He used his body, which was comparable to a high-grade Taoist weapon, to resist the attack of the 3 poisonous needles. The woman did not expect Yi Chunfeng's body to be so strong that the 3 poisonous needles, which were comparable to middle-grade Taoist treasures, could not penetrate his body. Without hesitation, she crushed a crystal hidden in her palm. A large amount of fog spread out and engulfed her attractive body. What? Do you want to escape after the assassination failed? With a thought, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul formed a powerful dizzying force. It smashed into her sea of soul like a heavy hammer, causing her reaction to be delayed for a short time. Just as Yi Chunfeng passed through the fog at an extremely fast speed, wanting to capture the assassin and interrogate the person behind the scenes, two extremely fast sword lights flew in from outside the window and attacked Yi Chunfeng. In the face of these two swords, Yi Chunfeng's movement speed suddenly soared, and he instantly dodged the two swords. His huge hand, which was filled with thousands of kilograms of weight, fiercely grabbed the woman's smooth and delicate shoulder. The power of the dual-polar ancient heavenly water pierced through her defense and broke into her body, directly freezing her. However, in the instant that the woman was sealed in ice, she suddenly self-destructed her body, creating a powerful explosive force that blasted towards Yi Chunfeng at close range, delivering the most fatal blow to him. Boom! Although the inn was protected by restrictions, the power of the assassin's self-detonation was so great that it shook the entire inn violently. A large area collapsed, affecting many people. The woman of the Zhou clan was also injured because of this. Fengchen, what happened? Wang Tian Marquis and the others ran out from the collapsed room. Seeing Yi Chunfeng, whose clothes were severely damaged but not injured, they asked. Someone tried to assassinate me. Yi Chunfeng's soul power erupted in his mind, locking onto the assassin who was hiding outside the inn and running away with all her strength. He said, Marquis, you guys protect yourselves. I will chase after that assassin. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng ignited his golden rock bloodline, increasing his flying speed by 4 times. He made his way out of the violently shaking inn and chased after the assassin who was running away with all her strength in the dark night. Although the assassin's flying speed was extremely fast, Yi Chunfeng quickly closed the distance between them under the amplification of his golden rock bloodline. He chased after her to the edge of the Fire God City. Seeing that the assassin was blocked by the Fire God City's restrictions, she suddenly took out a treasure and smashed it on the Fire God City's restrictions from afar. In the next moment, ripples appeared on the city wall's restrictions. The powerful restriction was pierced through by this treasure, and the assassin passed through this hole and escaped from the Fire God City. After trying to assassinate me, you still want to run? The soul force in Yi Chunfeng's brain exploded, and he poured it into the rapidly healing restrictions on the city walls, forcefully delaying the recovery time of the restrictions. At the last moment, he flew out and continued to chase after the black-clothed assassin who had failed to assassinate him. Just as Yi Chunfeng chased after the black-clothed assassin and arrived at a lush mountain forest outside the Fire God City, Yi Chunfeng's sharp senses suddenly felt 4 boundless killing intents locking onto him. In the next moment, 4 incomparably sharp spear lights that seemed to be able to pierce through everything cut through the dark night sky, stabbing towards Yi Chunfeng from 4 different directions, determined to kill him. On the eve of the semifinals, Yi Chunfeng encountered the assassination of 4 peerless experts. Mobile reading site, book address. For the convenience of your next reading, you can click on the save button below to record this reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1168. Sword Step. Yi Chunfeng didn't panic when he was suddenly attacked by 4 peerless spear lights. Instead, he suddenly increased the speed of his sword step. His entire body drew out an afterimage as he flew out while the sword Dao patterns defended against the 4 spear lights. Zhong Delta 1 Network. 4 female assassins who are level 6 combat beast emperors. What a big move! Although the 4 assassins were masked, judging from their enchanting figures, they were all women. Their strength had almost reached the peak of combat beast emperor. This somewhat surprised Yi Chunfeng. The 4 female assassins didn't waste time talking nonsense with Yi Chunfeng. After their first attack failed, they continued to hold their black spears. Like a long snake spitting out its tongue, they interweaved with boundless spear shadows and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Extreme Tao of life and death. 4 spear lights filled with killing intent surged through the void. A Tao pattern of life and death rose behind Yi Chunfeng. He struck out with his palms. Boundless Tao patterns of life and death fused in Yi Chunfeng's palms. With the power of extreme Tao, it crushed all living things. It was like the ultimate destruction of heaven and earth. It shattered the fatal attack of the 4 black spear lights. Their attacks were broken one after another. The 4 black-clothed assassins gathered together decisively, forming a deadly matrix. Rolling will of the way gathered together, and a black spear that was dozens of feet long pierced downwards. It carried with it the terrifying might of the matrix as it pierced towards Yi Chunfeng, intending to kill him. Heavenly Sovereign Bloodline Ignition, Blue Sky Seal. Facing the attack of the 4 assassins, Yi Chunfeng decisively ignited his Heavenly Sovereign Bloodline. He mobilized the power of the heavens in the space and merged it into his body, increasing his strength. He struck out the Blue Sky Seal to meet the attack. When the seal was struck out, heaven and earth shook. The space changed drastically. The power was terrifying. It made people feel small and helpless when facing this seal. Ka. The Blue Sky Seal and the Black Spear collided. The explosive force shook the entire space. Large areas of the forest were turned into ashes. The dark night sky was illuminated by the intense collision. Just as the black spear lights were being shattered by the Blue Sky Seal, Yi Chunfeng stepped on his sword and flew up into the sky. He appeared beside the 4 assassins. 36 Qianquan swords flew out of his body and instantly formed a sword array. It was like a violent sword river. It was vast and boundless as it attacked the 4 assassins who formed the killing array. Under the attack of the Qianquan sword array, the killing array was instantly suppressed. Although the 4 assassins' bloodline power, of course, they were still pierced by the sharp Qianquan swords. Their injuries were worsened by the Qianquan swords. Divine ability, Tyrant Kick. Seeing that the 4 assassins couldn't resist the Qianquan sword array, Yi Chunfeng suddenly flew above their head. He stomped his foot. The terrifying Tyrant Kick carried a force of close to 100 million jin. He stomped on the killing array and shattered it. The assassins fell from the sky to the ground and smashed out 4 huge craters. Go! After experiencing Yi Chunfeng's frightening strength, the 4 assassins decisively tried to break out of the encirclement and escape. However, the moment they broke out of the encirclement, the soul force in Yi Chunfeng's soul sea exploded once again, forming 4 powerful dizzying forces that bombarded the 4 assassins' soul sea. Just as the 4 assassins were hit by the dizziness attack and their reaction was slightly delayed, Yi Chunfeng was about to capture them alive. Yi Chunfeng's sharp perception suddenly felt an extremely terrifying killing intent locking onto him. This killing intent was so strong that Yi Chunfeng felt like he was being stared at by a poisonous snake. All the hair on his body stood on end, and he didn't dare to act rashly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. When Yi Chunfeng was locked onto by the terrifying killing intent and didn't dare to act rashly, the 4 assassins who had regained their consciousness quickly melted into the night and disappeared. If you want to kill me, then don't hide anymore. Yi Chunfeng's sharp eyes looked at the pitch-black forest. He took out the ice dragon sword and held it in his hand as he spoke in a low voice. Buzz! Just as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, the boundless killing intent from the depths of the forest suddenly condensed and turned into a killing sword that could cut through mountains and rivers. It carried a terrifying Tao intent and left a deep sword scar in the air as it slashed towards Yi Chunfeng. Nirvana's Almighty? The space of the central world was extremely sturdy. To be able to tear space apart with a casual attack, the attack power was at least at Nirvana's level. Yi Chunfeng didn't dare to take it head-on and quickly dodged. The moment Yi Chunfeng dodged, For more killing swords that evolved the might of the great Tao appeared in the pitch-black forest. As if they could pierce through heaven and earth, they slashed towards Yi Chunfeng, making him smell the thick threat of death. Just as Yi Chunfeng knew that he was no match for them and wanted to summon the sword puppet to fight, a sword ray that pierced through heaven and earth descended from the sky and shattered the 4 killing swords. In the next moment, the Absolute Sword, who was wearing a white robe and exuding boundless sword intent, appeared in front of Yi Chunfeng. Senior Absolute Sword. Yi Chunfeng didn't expect the Absolute Sword to appear at this time. He gave up the idea of summoning the sword puppet and revealed a look of gratitude. "Don't worry. With us here, no one can move," the Absolute Sword said coldly. His voice was filled with incomparable confidence. After a while, the Tao Addict, Violent Dragon, and the Black Lightning King appeared. However, there was a trace of regret on their faces. "Sigh, we let him escape." The Tao Addict sighed softly. "Escape? With the Black Lightning King here, how could that person escape?" The Absolute Sword knew the speed of the Black Lightning King. Even he couldn't catch up. "That person is not simple. The 3 of us only caught a glimpse of his back. His speed is even more shocking. Before we could chase after him, he disappeared into the night. Even our souls couldn't lock onto him," the Black Lightning King said softly. "Since you saw that person's back, do you think that person is Yao Yan?" the Absolute Sword asked with a sharp light in his eyes. "It can't be Yao Yan." The Tao Addict shook her head and said, "Although Yao Yan's strength is terrifying, he doesn't have the strength to escape from the 3 of us. However, that person's strength should have reached the Nirvana heavenly realm." "Seniors, I wonder if you know of any assassin organization in the Central World whose assassins are all female?" Yi Chunfeng asked at this moment. "Phantom," the Tao Addict said, "that person actually hired phantom assassins to assassinate you." "Senior, how is the strength of this phantom organization?" Yi Chunfeng continued to ask when he saw the grave expression on the Tao Addict's face. "There are 2 extremely terrifying assassin organizations in the Central World. Even the divine nations have a headache. One is Extreme Kill and the other is Phantom. The Phantom Assassin organization is all female. Moreover, every assassin is extremely terrifying. Targets targeted by them will find it difficult to escape." Violent Dragon, whose voice was like a thunder drum, continued, "Both Extreme Kill and Phantom are very mysterious. No one knows where their headquarters are hidden, and no one knows how deep their foundation is. Let's go back to the city. During this period of time, you can stay with the 4 of us. With us around, I don't think Phantom will dare to come again," the Tao Addict said. "Okay." Yi Chunfeng didn't refuse. He followed the Tao Addict and the other 3 back to the Fire God City and stayed in the Tao Addict's ancient courtyard in the Fire God City. Soon, the sun rose. The semi-finals of the 3rd day were about to begin. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to facilitate your next reading, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You can see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1169. Fengchen, you were assassinated last night, so you didn't have a good rest. You have to be very careful in today's competition. Don't challenge too high of a difficulty level to avoid accident. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who walked out of the room slowly with a calm expression, Wang Tian Pavilion was slightly worried that the assassination last night would affect his competition today. "Don't worry, Master Ho. I have rested well." Yi Chunfeng had a primordial treasure like the spiritual pearl of life, so he could recover in a short time. "Let's go to the Fire God Temple." On the way to the Fire God Temple, the Tao Addict and the other 3 people did not go with Yi Chunfeng. They hid in the dark, trying to find out the person behind the assassination of Yi Chunfeng. Outside the magnificent gate of the Fire God Temple, Yi Chunfeng and the others happened to meet the people of the sacred Fire Valley. However, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit did not provoke Yi Chunfeng and the others anymore. He looked at Yi Chunfeng coldly and walked into the Fire God Temple with 3 level 9 alchemists of the sacred Fire Valley. Fengchen, although we did not find the real assassin, I feel that the real assassin is very likely to be related to the sacred Fire Valley. They want to disturb your heart and consume your energy. So in today's semifinals, don't be instigated by the Saint Son of Fire Spirit, lest you fall into their trap. Jiao Yuyan took the initiative to hold Yi Chunfeng's big hand and said with concern, "Don't worry, Yuyan. The Saint Son of Fire Spirit will lose." Yi Chunfeng gently held Jiao Yuyan's soft and delicate hand, and his voice revealed great confidence. As for the person behind the assassination last night and the possible continuous assassination, he did not care about it, and it did not affect him at all. Because Yi Chunfeng's performance yesterday was too amazing, many alchemists took the initiative to greet him. Looking at the alchemists around Yi Chunfeng, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit's eyes could not help but reveal a touch of coldness. "Fengchen, I'm going to let you know that the higher you stand, the harder you fall. I'm going to make you kneel on the ground like a dog and kowtow to me." After studying the alchemy experience that Yao Yen had lent him for the past 2 days, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit had gained a lot and greatly improved his alchemy skills. At this time, he was completely confident that he could refine a 7-vein or even 8-vein ancient Tao pill and defeat Yi Chunfeng fair and square. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Just as all 179 alchemists arrived, the entrance to the heavenly fire world opened. Without any hesitation, everyone flew into the air and entered the extremely hot heavenly fire world. There was a faint red fire aura and mysterious stone platforms floating in the air. When the Fire Spirit Saint Sun chose a good stone platform, Yi Chunfeng chose the one next to him. This made the Fire Spirit Saint Sun frown. He looked at Yi Chunfeng. "Huoling, you will definitely lose." Looking at the Fire Spirit Saint Sun's eyes, Yi Chunfeng revealed a confident smile and said, "Isn't it too early to talk about winning? Moreover, I don't know what you're relying on for your confidence." The Fire Spirit Saint Sun was not angry. Instead, he said tit for tat, "Huoling, if I'm not wrong, the highest goal you've set for yourself is to be in the top 10 of this alchemy competition, right?" Yi Chunfeng said, "Why? Do you think you have the ability to be in the top 10 as well?" The Fire Spirit Saint Sun revealed a sarcastic smile and said with no trace of politeness. Yi Chunfeng shook his head. His delicate face revealed a smug smile as he said arrogantly, "No, you're wrong. I've never thought of such a low goal like being in the top 10. My lowest goal is to be in the 3rd place in this alchemy competition. My real goal is to be in the 1st place." "First place," the Fire Spirit Saint Sun's pupils shrank. After a short moment of surprise, he revealed a sarcastic expression. Just as he was about to mock Yi Chunfeng for overestimating himself, Yi Chunfeng turned his head and did not look at him. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Although the Fire Spirit Saint Sun did not believe Yi Chunfeng's goal from the bottom of his heart, Yi Chunfeng's words were like a thorn that pierced his heart, causing a ripple in his heart. Rumble! The sky fire world closed. Xian Zhangxin, who was wearing a white alchemy robe and had a strong aura, appeared above the sky fire world. He glanced at the 180 alchemists and said in a deep voice, "Being able to enter the semifinals is enough to prove your alchemy ability. Today there will only be one semifinal round. However, only 10 of you will be able to enter the semifinals tomorrow. Therefore, in today's semifinals, you will need to use your best skills to refine the elixirs. We will rank you according to your refining speed, elixir quality, and elixir level. The top 100 alchemists will be rewarded. Alright, insert your soul into the stone platform in front of you. You will see elixir recipes of different levels on the stone platform. After you have chosen your elixir recipe, the required herbs will appear. However, no matter if you succeed or fail, the elixir that you refine will belong to the Sky Palace." After he finished speaking, the 179 alchemists released their powerful souls into the mysterious soul that was floating in front of them. They forced their souls into the stone platform and found elixir recipes of different levels on the stone platform. The Ancient Path Golden Pill was one of the Ancient Path elixirs. The elixir contained the power of the Great Path and could increase the strength of the experts in Nirvana. The elixir recipe required blood spirit heavenly Ganoderma, purple cloud fruit, 7-star grass, heaven origin fruit, golden horn tree, and 48 other precious herbs. Yi Chunfeng quickly browsed through the 3 Ancient Path elixir recipes and finally chose the most difficult one, the Ancient Path Golden Pill. Although the Saint Son of Fire Spirit and Jiao Yuyan also chose to refine the Ancient Path elixir, it was too difficult and the chances of failure were high. To be safe, they chose to refine the second difficulty, the Profound Pu Ancient Path elixir. After everyone had chosen their elixir recipe, the mysterious stone platform immediately shone with a blinding white light. When the white light dissipated, all the herbs needed to refine the elixir appeared on the table. Ancient Path Golden Pill. He actually chose to refine the Ancient Path Golden Pill. After choosing his elixir recipe, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit instinctively looked at Yi Chunfeng. When he saw the 48 precious herbs on the stone platform in front of Yi Chunfeng, his pupils shrank and he was surprised. Is his alchemy skills really that high? Since Yi Chunfeng dared to choose the most difficult Ancient Path elixir, it was enough to show that he was very confident in his own abilities. In addition to Yi Chunfeng's arrogant words, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit was shocked again. No, he is just bluffing. If his alchemy skills are really that high, it is impossible for him to be unknown to the public. Soon, the Saint Son of Fire Spirit denied his own thoughts and tried to get rid of the distracting thoughts in his mind. He released his soul power to sense the medicinal properties of each herb and prepared to refine the Ancient Path elixir. At this time, a huge cloud of fire suddenly appeared in the heavenly fire world. When the cloud of fire dissipated, a huge funnel appeared in the void. The semi-finals will last for 3 days. When the fire and sand in the funnel are all gone, the competition will end. Alright, I now announce the start of the semi-finals. Following Xian Zhangxin's order, the cruel and long semi-finals began. Mobile reading website, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1170. Vermilion Bird Cauldron. Although Yi Chunfeng had a powerful alchemy inheritance and a lot of alchemy experience, he didn't dare to be careless when refining the ancient Dao pill. He summoned the Gu Dao treasure Vermilion Bird Cauldron that had an artifact spirit. Watermark Advertisement Test. Watermark Advertisement Testes, the successor of the Sacred Fire Valley, the Fire Spirit Saint also had an extraordinary Gu Dao treasure cauldron. However, his cauldron didn't have an artifact spirit, so it was much worse than the Vermilion Bird Cauldron. The ancient Dao pill was different from the Dao pill. Not only was it extremely difficult to refine, but it also took a long time. The order of putting in the herbs was also very particular. The essence of the herbs had to react at the beginning and nurture the power of the Dao. Only then could the ancient Dao pill be refined. Yi Chunfeng stared at the 48 herbs needed to refine the ancient Dao golden pill. He tried hard to remember, and the attributes of the 48 herbs immediately appeared in his mind. Then, Yi Chunfeng followed the alchemy experience in his mind. He first put the blood spirit Ganoderma, heaven origin fruit, and crane grass into the Vermilion Bird Cauldron that was burning with death flames heavenly fire and surrounded by the Vermilion Bird's shadow. The attributes of the 3 heaven and earth spiritual herbs complemented each other. the pure spiritual liquid that they melted into easily fused together and nurtured a sliver of Tao power. Then, Yi Chunfeng sealed the 3 balls of pure spiritual liquid in a corner of the vermilion bird cauldron. He put in another 4 heaven and earth spiritual herbs that complemented each other and continued to refine them. Refining the ancient Tao pill required an extremely large number of spiritual herbs, and the grade of the spiritual herbs was even higher. The time required to refine the ancient Tao pill far exceeded that of a peak-grade Tao pill. Relying on his rich alchemy experience, Yi Chunfeng spent a total of 8 hours before he finally purified all 48 spiritual herbs. After refining them, Yi Chunfeng didn't fuse all the spiritual liquids together. Instead, he relied on his rich alchemy experience to fuse the spiritual liquids with each other. This was to prevent the herbs from clashing with each other and causing the refinement to fail. Without rich alchemy experience and thousands of experiments, one wouldn't know the order of fusion. Just the fusion of the pills would cause the refinement to fail. As for the herbs needed to refine the ancient path pill, every single one of them was extremely valuable. Without a rich family background, it was impossible to use these herbs to refine pills without restraint. This was also the reason why there were so few 9th-grade alchemists in the entire Central world. Among these 9th-grade alchemists, there were less than 20 who had a 50% chance of concocting an ancient Tao pill. Yi Chunfeng relied on his powerful alchemy inheritance to complete the purification. Jiao Yuyan and the Flame Spirit Saint Sun also completed the purification and began to fuse their spirit pills. Although Jiao Yuyan's starting point was relatively low, Yi Chunfeng, in order to thank her for teaching him the undying soul technique, had unreservedly imparted his alchemy skills and experience to her. In addition, she was extremely intelligent and had a strong perception. Refining the ancient path pill was done with ease, as if she was a veteran who had studied alchemy for tens of thousands of years. She didn't show the slightest bit of strain. The Flame Spirit Saint Sun, who had studied the alchemy manual for 2 days, was also very calm. Every bit of control was done calmly. He had the demeanor of a great master. As expected, heroes come from the young. Feng Chen, Jiao Yuyan, and the Flame Spirit Holy Sun were all rare geniuses, especially Feng Chen. In such a short time, he had understood the attributes of the ancient path golden pill's 48 medicinal herbs and refined them in an orderly manner. This kind of insight and experience made me wonder if he was an old monster in disguise. Vice Hall Master Xian Qingyun, who had been watching the competition through the light barrier in the Fire God realm, couldn't help but praise Yi Chunfeng when he saw how skilled and calm Yi Chunfeng was. That's right, the ancient path golden pill wasn't simple. It was extremely difficult to refine. Even an ordinary saint alchemist would only have a success rate of 70 to 80%. But that little guy challenged this pill in the semifinals. It was enough to show that he was very confident in his alchemy skills. Palace Master Xian Hongzheng nodded lightly. His gaze was fixed on Yi Chunfeng. If that Feng Chen could really refine the ancient path golden pill and its quality was above 5 veins, then he might really be able to rush into the top 10 of this competition. That's right, that little guy is very powerful. Not only does he have alchemy skills that make even us exclaim in admiration, his strength is also ridiculously strong. I really want to know which old monster had such a monstrous disciple. Thinking about what happened last night in the Fire God City, Great Elder Xian Zhongting nodded and exclaimed. Not only were the 4 upper echelons of the Single Sky Hall paying attention to Yi Chunfeng, many people in the viewing pavilion were also paying attention to Yi Chunfeng's stunning performance yesterday. They really wanted to know what kind of miracle he would create today. Master, with your eyesight, can you tell what grade of pill Yi Chunfeng and Huo Ling are refining? Although Fire Sky Halberd was a saint alchemist, he could only be considered the weakest one. No matter if it was his eyesight or experience, he couldn't compare to Yao Yan. He couldn't tell what grade of pill Yi Chunfeng and Huo Ling were refining. Feng Chun was refining the Ancient Path Golden Pill, while Huo Ling was refining the Bodhi Ancient Path Golden Pill. Yao Yen had a special liking for spirit tea. He savored the spirit tea and slowly said, "Ancient Path Golden Pill, that little bastard actually dared to refine the Ancient Path Golden Pill." Fire Sky Halberd had heard of these two Ancient Path Golden Pills. In terms of quality and medicinal efficacy, the Bodhi Ancient Path Golden Pill couldn't be compared to the Ancient Path Golden Pill. Moreover, the difficulty of refining the Ancient Path Golden Pill was extraordinarily high. Even he didn't have an 80% chance of success. Interesting, that little bastard really surprises me time and time again. After last night's twists and turns, he still dares to refine the Ancient Path Golden Pill. He really isn't simple. Yao Yen revealed a faint smile and said calmly. Looking at Yao Yan's calm face, Fire Sky Halberd really wanted to ask if he was the one who instigated last night's incident. However, when the words reached his mouth, Fire Sky Halberd swallowed them back down. "Fire Halberd, do you want to ask if I was the one who sent people to assassinate Feng Chen last night?" Yao Yen seemed to have seen through Fire Sky Halberd's thoughts. He put down his teacup and asked indifferently. No, I don't dare to ask about Master's matters." Fire Sky Halberd quickly denied it. "Actually, you already know the answer in your heart. However, I can tell you clearly that last night's incident had nothing to do with me. If I wanted to make a move, he would have died without a doubt." Although Yao Yan's face was expressionless, his calm words revealed an incomparable confidence. It was as if he could completely control a person's life and death. If it wasn't his master, then who could it be? Hearing Yao Yan's denial, Fire Sky Halberd fell into deep thought. In the end, he guessed that the assassination attempt on Yi Chunfeng was most likely related to that Saint Pill. Time quickly passed, and a day passed in the blink of an eye. After a day of refining, Yi Chunfeng finally fused the 48 spirit liquids together, forming the embryonic form of the Tao core that contained the power of the Great Tao. Although the fusion process was very smooth without any flaws, condensing the Tao core was the most important and also the most difficult step. It was easy to make a mistake when carving the ancient pill runes. Once a mistake was made, the refinement would fail. And the consumption of energy to condense the ancient pill runes was even more terrifying. Without the support of a powerful soul, it was impossible to continuously condense the ancient Tao runes for 2 days. Yi Chunfeng continuously breathed the death blaze heavenly fire into the vermilion bird cauldron, increasing the temperature of the flames in the cauldron. His hands moved like flowing water, and combined with the changes in his soul, he continuously condensed the mysterious ancient pill runes. Through the vermilion bird cauldron, they merged into the embryonic form of the golden pill. When Yi Chunfeng began to condense the ancient pill runes, the fire spirit saint, who was slightly faster than him, was also condensing the ancient pill runes calmly. He was doing everything he could to increase the quality of the Bodhi Ancient Path pill and give Yi Chunfeng a show of strength. Slowly, another day passed, and the semi-finals came to an end. Mobile reading site, book address. To facilitate your next reading, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1171. Pring, near the end. An ear-piercing sound of pills exploding suddenly rang out in the silent and oppressive Skyfire world. An 8th-grade alchemist had made a mistake while condensing the pill patterns, causing the medicinal power in the pill to leak out. The flame went out of control and the furnace exploded, causing all his efforts to go to waste. Perhaps they were infected by the failure of this 8th-grade alchemist, but in the next hour more alchemists failed. However, the continuous explosions did not affect Yi Chunfeng and the rest. Yi Chunfeng cleared all distracting thoughts and released his powerful soul spirit to control the flames in the vermilion bird cauldron. At the same time, he condensed the ancient pill patterns and increased the quality of the ancient path golden core. Although Yi Chunfeng's soul spirit had reached the level of a 3-star Dao saint, continuously condensing the mysterious ancient pill patterns and controlling the death flame heavenly fire to refine pills still made Yi Chunfeng's soul spirit feel a little tired. However, unless he had no other choice, he did not want to expose the sky burning initial sacred flame too early. He kept spitting the death flame heavenly fire into the vermilion bird cauldron to increase the speed of condensing the ancient path golden core. After another 6 hours, there was not much sand left in the hourglass. The saint's son of fire spirit's eyes suddenly shone brightly. He spat out a mouthful of essence blood from his mouth and melted into the 3-legged cauldron. After absorbing the flame spirit saint's blood essence, the heavenly fire in the cauldron became even more vigorous. It crazily refined the Bodhi ancient path pill that was violently tumbling in the flames. Finally, after the flame spirit saint's blood essence increased the power of the flames, the Bodhi ancient path pill was successfully refined. It was like a beast that had just awoken. It broke through the boiling hot lid and floated in the void. 8 Mark Bodhi ancient path pill. Seeing the 8 mysterious pill patterns on the surface of the Bodhi ancient path pill that the flame spirit saint had refined, many people in the viewing pavilion exclaimed, "The flame spirit saint is indeed a rare alchemy genius of the sacred fire valley. He can refine an 8-mark ancient path pill at such a young age. His potential is unimaginable. Yes, the flame spirit saint is too scary. If he is given time, he will definitely become a saint alchemist. He might even become the youngest saint alchemist in the central world. By the way, have you heard about the bet between Feng Chun and the fire spirit Holy Sun?" Suddenly, someone in the viewing pavilion asked. "Of course I have. Although Feng Chen's performance yesterday was amazing, I feel that there is still a big gap between him and the flame spirit saint. It is inevitable that he will kowtow and apologize." After witnessing the flame spirit saint's son refine the 8 runes ancient Dao pill through the light barrier, the spectators in the viewing pavilions were all stunned by the flame spirit saint's son's superb alchemy skills. Almost no one thought highly of Yi Chunfeng anymore. Even Wang Tian Marquis and Mu Qinghua were slightly worried about Yi Chunfeng. They were worried that he would be distracted by the flame spirit saint's son and fail at the last moment. Just as the fire spirit Holy Sun held the 8-mark Bodhi ancient Wei pill in his hand and looked at Yi Chunfeng proudly, beams of fire were released from the phoenix burning furnace. Jiao Yuyan shouted as her hands quickly moved, forming a series of mysterious hand seals that heavily struck the boiling hot walls of the phoenix incinerating furnace. In the next moment, the scorching hot Bodhi ancient Wei pill flew out of the phoenix burning furnace, releasing a gentle white light as it hovered in the air. 8 runes. He actually refined an 8-mark ancient Wei pill. Seeing that the Bodhi ancient Wei pill floating above Jiao Yuyan's head had also reached the 8-mark quality, the flame spirit Holy Sun raised his eyebrows in disbelief. He knew how difficult it was to refine an 8-mark Bodhi ancient Wei pill. If he hadn't read Yao Yan's tens of thousands of years of alchemy experience, which allowed his alchemy skills to be reborn and opened his eyes, he definitely wouldn't have been able to refine an 8-mark ancient Wei pill. Could it be that he can really refine an ancient Wei golden pill? Thinking of this, the flame spirit Holy Sun's gaze couldn't help but drift to the stone platform beside him. Yi Chunfeng's face was slightly pale. Seeing the slightly strained Yi Chunfeng, the flame spirit Holy Sun's lips curled up slightly, revealing a mocking smile as he relaxed. He felt that even if Yi Chunfeng managed to refine an ancient Wei golden pill at the last moment, it would still be impossible for him to refine a 5-mark ancient Wei golden pill. Although the Bodhi ancient Wei pill was inferior to the ancient Wei golden pill in terms of alchemy quality, the flame spirit Holy Sun could surpass Yi Qinfeng and obtain the final victory. And judging from Yi Qinfeng's strained appearance, there was an 80% chance that Yi Qinfeng would fail at the last moment, or that he wouldn't be able to refine an ancient Wei golden pill within the time limit. After the flame spirit Holy Sun and Jiao Yuan, many other grade 9 alchemists also completed their alchemy. However, even more people failed at the last moment. Time passed by slowly. Seeing that the fire and sand in the funnel had run out, Yi Qinfeng's hands, which were covered in ancient Wei golden pill patterns, fiercely pressed them into the vermilion bird cauldron. Following this, an ear-piercing bird cry rang out. A lifelike vermilion bird phantom broke out of the scalding vermilion bird cauldron. In the vermilion bird's sharp beak was a dazzling golden ancient Wei golden pill that was releasing the power of the great Tao. Just as the flame spirit Holy Sun's eyes widened, wanting to see the quality of the ancient Wei golden pill that Yi Qinfeng had refined, the nimble Yi Qinfeng retrieved the ancient Wei golden pill from the vermilion bird phantom's beak. He sat cross-legged beside the stone platform and silently adjusted his breathing to recover the spiritual energy he had consumed. Motherf *Ker, this kid is really lucky. He actually refined the ancient Wei golden pill at the last moment. The flame spirit Holy Sun cursed in his heart. However, although he did not see the quality of the ancient Wei golden pill that Yi Qinfeng had refined, judging from Yi Qinfeng's cautious attitude, he felt that the ancient Wei golden pill that Yi Qinfeng had refined should not be of high quality. Otherwise, Yi Qinfeng would have already shown off to him. Not long after Yi Qinfeng had refined the ancient Wei golden pill, the funnel had run out of fire sand. The 3-day semi-final competition had ended. The inhibition spell around the stone platforms had disappeared. Feng Chen, I did not expect you to be so lucky. Even I am a bit envious. I wonder how many ancient Wei golden pill you have refined? The flame spirit Holy Sun looked provocatively at Yi Qinfeng, who was holding the ancient Wei golden pill in his hand. His face was slightly pale. He revealed a hint of mockery. What, flame spirit? Do you think that you have already won? Yi Qinfeng glanced at the flame spirit's Saint Sun coldly and said indifferently. Of course. I am the first to refine an 8-mark Bodhi ancient Wei pill. Who do you think can beat me in the semi-final? The flame spirit Holy Sun revealed a hint of arrogance and said. Although his arrogant words made many Tier 9 alchemists unhappy, the 8-mark Bodhi ancient Wei pill that he had refined was indeed unparalleled. The alchemists were angry but did not dare to say anything. Seeing the sullen expressions around him, the flame spirit Holy Sun's smile grew wider. He continued to provoke. All right, Feng Chen. Stop hiding. Let us all see how many ancient Wei golden pill you have refined. Don't tell me it is only one ancient Wei golden pill that you have refined. Ah, a frog at the bottom of a well is a frog at the bottom of a well. You think you are invincible after refining an 8-mark Bodhi ancient Wei pill. What a joke. Yi Qinfeng shook his head. The corner of his mouth curled up. He revealed a hint of mockery and said, I really don't want to tell you that I have refined a 9-mark ancient Wei golden pill. What, seeing Yi Qinfeng pinching the ancient Tao golden core between his fingers, not only was the flame spirit Saint Sun dumbfounded, but all the alchemists, including Jiao Yuyan, were also dumbfounded. The heavenly fire realm, which had been noisy just a moment ago, was now completely silent. Everyone's eyes were attracted to the 9-mark ancient Wei golden pill between Yi Qinfeng's fingers. It seemed to have a demonic nature. They could not pull themselves away. Mobile reading site, book address. In order to make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click Save at the bottom to record this reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1172. How? How is this possible? 9 runes ancient path golden elixir? Am I seeing things? The saint's son of fire spirit came back to his senses and rubbed his eyes hard. He could not believe what he had seen and could not accept the result. Alright, stop rubbing your eyes. You can't change the result even if you rub your eyes. Yi Chunfeng looked at the stunned saint's son of fire spirit and mocked him. Actually, I don't want to hurt you. However, you have overestimated yourself. Don't you feel like a clown now? Hearing Yi Chunfeng's blatant mockery, the saint's son of fire spirit was so angry that he trembled and his lungs were about to explode. However, he could not find any words to refute. He was the one who had provoked him at the beginning. Now, he could only reap what he had sown. Feng Chen, the competition has just begun. Let's wait and see. I will be the one who has the last laugh. The saint's son of fire spirit retorted coldly as he suppressed the anger in his heart. He did not look at Yi Chunfeng anymore. However, his twitching eyes betrayed his anger. A clown will always be a clown. You are always deceiving yourself. Alright, I will let you dream for a while longer. Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said with a playful smile. Alright, put your elixirs on the stone table and let the stone table examine them. Xian Zhongxin looked at Yi Chunfeng with admiration and announced loudly. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Beams of white light shone from the stone table. The mysterious stone table seemed to have a life of its own. It swallowed the elixirs that the alchemists had refined and started to examine the quality of their elixirs. It also checked whether the elixirs were complete and ranked them according to their overall result. Soon, the rankings were out. A huge crystal screen appeared in the sky above the heavenly fire world. Everyone's results and the quality of their elixirs appeared on the screen. Yi Chunfeng had refined the 9 runes ancient path golden elixir and won first place in the semi-finals. Although the saint's son of fire spirit and Jiao Yuyan had refined the 8 runes ancient path golden elixir, the saint's son of fire spirit was slightly faster than Jiao Yuyan and ranked second. Looking at the rankings on the crystal screen, some people were pleasantly surprised, while others were regretful. And entering the semi-finals tomorrow meant that Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan had both entered the top 20 of this alchemy conference, and even obtained a 9-star emblem. This kind of result was something that Jiao Yuyan had never imagined, nor did she dare to imagine. When Xian Zhongxin was giving out rewards to the alchemists who had failed to qualify for the semi-finals but had made it to the top 100 in the alchemy conference, he had witnessed Yi Chunfeng refine a 9-rune ancient path golden pill and rank first, causing an uproar in several viewing pavilions. Heavens, that Feng Chen is really a monster. He actually managed to refine a 9-rune ancient path golden pill. Why haven't I heard of his name before? Yes, the flame spirit Holy Sun is already abnormal enough, but compared to Feng Chen, he is still too far away. A 9-rune ancient path golden core. Perhaps even a sacred alchemy master might not be as outstanding as him. Looks like he dared to bet with the flame spirit Holy Sun in front of everyone, so he must have enough strength. Maybe he really will have the last laugh. Feng Chen, the flame spirit Holy Sun is very outstanding, and so is that unbelievably beautiful Jiao Yuyan. I didn't expect that there would be 3 dark horses in this alchemy conference. I wonder if they can shake the sacred alchemy master's position and make it to the top 10. After witnessing Yi Chunfeng turning the tide and suppressing the flame spirit Holy Sun, Yi Chunfeng's stunning performance once again won over the audience in the viewing pavilions. Amazing. I thought that the assassination a few days ago would have some impact on Feng Chen, but I didn't expect him to finish the competition with such an outstanding performance. If an 8-rune ancient path golden pill is the limit of the flame spirit Holy Sun, then he will definitely lose. Wang Tian Marquis revealed a graceful smile. He kept thinking about how to break through the window paper and bring Yi Chunfeng and Jiao Yuyan together. How can this be? How old is that little bastard? How can he refine a 9-rune ancient path golden pill? Looking at the ranking on the crystal light wall, Fire Sky Halberd's face became extremely ugly. With Yi Qinfeng's performance today, it would be extremely difficult for the Flame Spirit Holy Sun to defeat him in the semi-finals. Thinking of the consequences of failure, Fire Sky Halberd could no longer remain calm. Master, you must help Fire Spirit again. The sacred Fire Valley can't afford to lose. Fire Sky Halberd looked at the calm Yao Yen with pleading eyes and pleaded. An 8-rune Bodhi Ancient Path Golden Pill is probably Fire Spirit's limit, and a 9-rune Ancient Path Golden Pill shouldn't be Feng Chen's limit. Yao Yen stared at the ranking on the light wall and said lightly, "It will be difficult for Fire Spirit to turn the tide in the semi-finals. Master, I don't know if you can lend your Saint Furnace to Fire Spirit. With your Saint Furnace, Fire Spirit's performance will definitely rise to another level, and he will defeat Feng Chen in the semi-finals." Fire Sky Halberd gritted his teeth and suddenly knelt on the ground. In order to defeat Yi Qinfeng, he no longer cared about his reputation. Sky Halberd, you should know that I am enemies with the Heavenly Hall. If I lend the Holy Sovereign Cauldron to Fire Spirit, it will disrupt the final ranking, and it will very likely bring trouble to him and the Sacred Fire Valley. Yao Yen looked at Fire Sky Halberd, who was kneeling on the ground and begging him, and said slowly, "As long as I can defeat that little bastard, take the divine elixir pill from him, and protect the Sacred Fire Valley's biggest secret, I am willing to take this risk." Fire Sky Halberd gritted his teeth and said, "All right, since you are willing to take the risk, I will lend the Holy Sovereign Cauldron to Fire Spirit. However, whether he can defeat Feng Chen in the end, only God knows." Yao Yen pondered for a moment and finally decided, "Thank you, Master. I will never forget Master's kindness." Fire Sky Halberd said emotionally as he knelt on the ground without any regard for his dignity and kowtowed 3 times to the unfathomable Yao Yen. Yao Yan's Holy Sovereign Cauldron could be said to be one of the 3 strongest cauldrons in the Central World. It had reached the level of a middle-grade sacred treasure. Although the Fire Spirit Saint was unable to control the Holy Sovereign Cauldron and unleash its full power with his strength, he could still use the Holy Sovereign Cauldron to increase his results in a short period of time and refine a 10-rune ancient Dao pill. "Feng Chen, where did you come from?" Yao Yan's gaze was deep as he looked at the wall of light, at the calm and unruffled Yi Qinfeng. It could be said that Yi Qinfeng's performance today had completely exceeded Yao Yan's expectations. Yao Yan kept thinking about which great power had nurtured such a demonic genius. Could Feng Chen be related to those old fellas? After pondering for a while, Yao Yan thought that only those old fellas in the Sky Hall could have groomed Yi Qinfeng, a demonic genius. He could not help but reveal a trace of ruthlessness in his eyes. However, what Yao Yan did not expect was that Yi Qinfeng had nothing to do with Xian Hongzheng and the others. At this time, Xian Hongzheng and the others in the Fire God world were also stunned by Yi Qinfeng's stunning performance. Alright, today's semi-finals are over. The alchemists who have advanced to the semi-finals can take a day off tomorrow. The semi-finals will continue the day after tomorrow. Xian Zhangxin floated in the air and looked at the alchemists who had gained and lost some. He then opened the entrance to the heavenly fire world. "Let's go back." Yi Qinfeng and Zhao Yuyan, who had both advanced to the semi-finals, flew towards the entrance of the heavenly fire world. They disappeared into the mysterious heavenly fire world with the other alchemists. Mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the Save button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will be able to see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Chapter 1173. Marquee, Pavilion Elder. From today onwards, the Wangtian Pavilion will be an 8th grade pavilion. When Yi Qinfeng and Zhao Yuyan walked out of the Fire God Palace, they saw the Wangtian Marquee and the others waiting outside. Yi Qinfeng revealed a faint smile. Watermark advertisement test. Watermark advertisement test. Thank you. Feng Chen, we owe you too much. I think that only by betrothing Yen to you will we be able to repay our debt. Wangtian Marquis smiled as he looked at Yi Chunfeng and Zhao Yuyan, who were like a golden couple. Hearing the Wangtian Marquis words, Zhao Yuyan's delicate face suddenly blushed, while Yi Chunfeng chose to remain silent, not knowing how to reply. Just when the atmosphere was slightly awkward, a charming fragrance slowly drifted over. Shui Hanyan, who was wearing a white male outfit and waving a jade fan, exuded a different kind of beauty. Accompanied by 2 Nirvana Realm guards, she slowly walked to the front of Yi Chunfeng. She lightly tiptoed and intimately whispered a few words into Yi Chunfeng's ear. Leaving behind a beautiful back view, she turned around and left. Shui Hanyan, the little princess of Octahead Kingdom. Wangtian Marquis recognized the cross-dressing Shui Hanyan and frowned slightly. Feng Chen, you know each other? Yeah, she and I can be considered friends. Yi Chunfeng nodded and admitted. AI, let's go back. Wangtian Marquis felt that the relationship between Yi Chunfeng and Shui Hanyan was not simple. In addition, the intimate actions of the two just now made people's imaginations run wild. Wangtian Marquis glanced at Zhao Yuyan, who was biting her lips, and sighed softly in his heart. He returned to the Dao Addict's ancient courtyard. Good disciple, Feng Chen, your performance today was very good. Perform well the day after tomorrow, and strive to enter the finals. The Dao Addict, who had returned early, said in a good mood when she saw Yi Chunfeng and the others. Master, we will do our best. The absent-minded Zhao Yuyan said softly. Seeing that Zhao Yuyan was not in a good mood, the Dao Addict thought that she was tired and said softly, You must be tired. Rest well, with me here, no one can disturb you. Then, Master, I'm going back to my room. Zhao Yuyan glanced at Yi Chunfeng and returned to her room. Yi Chunfeng also didn't stay in the courtyard and returned to his own room. The night was getting deeper and deeper. The stars were twinkling in the sky and everything was quiet. Yuyan, are you resting? In the dead of night, Yi Chunfeng suddenly came to Zhao Yuyan's room and gently knocked on the door. Feng Chen, it's already so late, why are you looking for me? Upon hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice coming from outside, Zhao Yuyan opened the door and softly asked. She was wearing a white chiffon nightgown, her long black hair casually draped over her shoulders, revealing her snow-white skin and exquisite curves. I want to talk to you. Do you have time? Looking at Zhao Yuyan's beautiful face, Yi Chunfeng smiled and said softly, Come in. Zhao Yuyan nodded and welcomed Yi Chunfeng into the room with her bare feet. She very considerately poured a cup of spiritual tea for him and sat opposite him in silence. Yuyan, I wonder if you are interested in hearing my story? Yi Chunfeng said softly as he looked at Zhao Yuyan, who was as beautiful as a fairy under the illumination of the moonlight. Sure. Zhao Yuyan's eyes lit up and revealed a faint smile. Feng Chen isn't my real name. My real name is Yi Chunfeng, and I already have a wife. Yi Chunfeng told Zhao Yuyan his real name and told her about his experiences. However, he deliberately concealed his identity as a foreigner and told his story to the central world. He also told her about his relationship with Yu Nikhang. At first, when she found out that Yi Chunfeng was married, Zhao Yuyan's delicate face paled and her heart felt as if it was pierced by needles. However, when she heard that his wife, Yu Nikhang, was actually the reincarnation of a supreme expert of the heaven domain and had already left this world, she was deeply shocked. She was even more attracted by Yi Chunfeng's extraordinary story and his bumpy experiences. Feng Chen, is this the reason why you keep rejecting me? Zhao Yuyan gently bit her thin lips and looked at Yi Chunfeng's clear eyes and asked. That's only one of the reasons. The most important reason is that I wholeheartedly pursue the Supreme Tao. I don't want to be tied down by emotions. The fighting spirit continent isn't my final destination. In this life, I will definitely ascend to the heaven domain. Yi Chunfeng slowly said, his voice filled with incomparable conviction. Ascend to the heaven domain? Is it because of her? Jiao Yuyan softly asked. One is to prove my Tao, and the other is for her. Yi Chunfeng nodded and calmly said. Feng Chen, to be honest, I am quite envious of her. However, if one day you step onto the peak of the martial Tao, will you accept me? Jiao Yuyan lightly bit her lips and suddenly boldly asked. This. I will. Yi Chunfeng indeed had a good impression of Jiao Yuyan and didn't lie to himself. He nodded and said, Then I will wait for the day you step onto the peak of the martial Tao. Jiao Yuyan suddenly blossomed with a smile that was more beautiful than a flower and firmly said. But Jiao Yuyan took the initiative to hold Yi Chunfeng's big hand, looked into his eyes and firmly said, No buts, this is what I am willing to do. Furthermore, I believe that you will definitely step onto the peak of the martial Tao. As for me, I will also cultivate with all my might, hoping that one day I will be able to help you. Alright, then you should properly cultivate with Senior Tao Addict. However, Yuyan, if one day you reach the peak of rank 6 Combat Beast Emperor, remember not to change your cultivation to Nirvana Realm. Yi Chunfeng was moved by Jiao Yuyan's sincerity. He decided that one day when he refined a heavenly sacred breaking pellet, he would leave one for her. Why? Jiao Yuyan puzzledly asked. It's a secret for now, you will know when the time comes. Yi Chunfeng faintly smiled and pretended to be mysterious. Alright then. The obedient Jiao Yuyan didn't ask any more. A trace of craftiness appeared in her eyes as she revealed 2 dimples. She looked at Yi Chunfeng and said, Feng Chen, what's the relationship between you and that Hakone Divine Nations princess? Is she also someone who admires you? Her? Our relationship can only be considered as using each other. Even if we are together, it is destined to be short-lived. Yi Chunfeng thought for a while and said softly, Alright, I've said everything I need to say. I hope you can undo the knot in your heart and don't delay your cultivation. Yi Chunfeng gently tucked a strand of long hair behind her ear and said softly, My knot in my heart has been undone. I will wait for you to step onto the peak of martial arts. Jiao Yuyan gently said, Feng Chen, stay in my room tonight and cultivate the immortal soul technique with me. I feel that when you refined the ancient path pellet today, your soul power was still not enough. Alright. Yi Chunfeng nodded and walked with Jiao Yuyan to the big bed that was emitting a faint fragrance. They sat on the big bed hand in hand and released their soul power without any reservation. They used the most intimate method to cultivate the immortal soul technique to strengthen their soul power. In order to further strengthen their soul power, Yi Chunfeng took out 5 precious drops of heavenly soul Y and melted them into their soul power while they cultivated the immortal soul technique. He used the soul millstone to further refine his soul power. Soon, a day had passed. With the nourishment of the 5 drops of heavenly soul Y and the deep soul fusion cultivation, their soul power was enhanced again. More importantly, Jiao Yuyan had undone the knot in her heart and was in a surprisingly good state. Finally, it's the semi-finals. Huo Ling, today I will definitely send you from heaven to hell. Yi Chunfeng stretched lazily and glanced at the Jade Maiden, whose face was rosy and whose eyes were closed. She looked even more beautiful than a fairy. Then, he revealed an unruly smile as he thought to himself, mobile reading site, book address. To make it easier for you to read it next time, you can click on the bookmark button at the bottom to record your reading record. You will see it the next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support.